Chapter 306. As expected, there was a boulder behind the altar. It had been flattened by power, and there were bold characters on it that contained shocking devilish chi. Arriving in front of the boulder, Green Feather King read, "I am the 100 Demon Sect's elder, unrestrained true devil. I came to Xianjia Gate to steal treasures. I had no intention of breaking through here, so I left behind this land of opportunity. I hope that the fated ones will come here and obtain a living blood ghost. If the Devil Path's people wish to revive the 100 Demon Sect, and if a righteous path's cultivator is fortunate enough to obtain it, the heavens will bless him. Unrestrained true devil, so it's a true devil." Su Fang was deeply shaken by the characters containing devilish chi. The aura of those characters was enough to kill any imperishable realm cultivator. Green Feather King sighed. Someone who can raise a blood ghost is definitely a peerless expert. As expected, it's the 100 Demon Sect's strongest unrestrained true devil from 20,000 years ago. Senior knows this unrestrained true devil. What a coincidence. When this king was young, this unrestrained true devil just happened to be an elder of the 100 Demon Sect. His name shook the world. It seems he has already successfully crossed the final threshold and ascended to the outside world. The 100 Demon Sect really is powerful. That's natural. The 100 Demon Sect's history far surpasses the Immortal Sealing Sect and the Spirit Sect. There are few righteous path powers in the Zhuotian world that can compare to them. This cave's spiritual chi is abundant, and it's suitable for this king to cultivate. Go merge with that blood ghost. Don't be in too much of a rush. Green Feather King flashed over to the altar and warned Su Fang. Su Fang hastily rushed over, looking forward to it. He carefully examined the blood ghost. The baby was alive, but it didn't have much consciousness. It couldn't even compare to a 3 or 4-year-old human child's consciousness. Looking carefully inside the spirit pool, there were a few spirit herbs and spirit items that had lost their spiritual chi. Even after such a long time, the essence blood aura of the spirit pool was still strong. There were over a dozen baby corpses in the surrounding spirit pools. Unfortunately, only one blood ghost had survived from the 4 spirit pools. Sitting on the side, he waited for a moment before condensing his 9 yang true chi. He found that the blood ghost's aura was very weak. The unrestrained true devil had once left behind a shocking amount of blood chi for the blood ghost to grow and cultivate. But after countless years, the spirit pool's essence blood was no longer enough. Perhaps the blood ghosts in the other spirit pools had died because their blood chi. The 9 yang true chi slowly flowed into the spiritual pool and into the blood ghost's skin. The bloody water suddenly raised a wave as the blood ghost took the initiative to absorb the 9 yang true chi. The pale skin immediately became ruddy as the 9 yang true chi played an absolute role. It's been about a month. Su Fang had just condensed his blood essence, which also contained 9 yang true chi. It slowly fell on the vampire's lips, and as the vampire breathed, it was instantly sucked into his mouth. Unexpectedly, there was an immediate change. After absorbing Su Fang's blood essence, the blood ghost slowly opened its eyes. Its 2 large, dark eyes immediately locked onto Su Fang. The bloody ghost said in a hoarse voice. He curiously sized up Su Fang with his big eyes. His head sometimes tilted to the left and sometimes to the right. Gradually, Su Fang's image appeared clearly in the bloody ghost's eyes. "Woo!" Blood Ghost shouted at Su Fang. Although he did not know what it meant, Su Fang released more 9 yang true chi for the blood ghost to greedily absorb. The size of the blood ghost also changed. Su Fang knew that the blood ghost would undergo more shocking changes in the coming days. He began to wholeheartedly help the blood ghost grow. At this moment, in the world of spiritual mist outside, "You bird monsters want to kill us?" A sword chi flashed by. It was the Celestial Sealing Sect's Daluo Heaven sword chi. 2 large bird monsters that were searching for and attacking humans in the world of spiritual mist were cut in half by the sword chi. 3 men in black came from the other side of the sword chi. The leader was Schwelling, and the other 2 were Yang Soul Realm experts. Brother Ling, I wonder if Brother Daching has found Fang Yu's whereabouts. We have been searching for him for more than half a year, but we still have not found him. One of the men in black asked Schwelling politely. Schwelling said, Our members are everywhere. Since we are sure that Fang Yu is in this space, then he will not be able to run away. More importantly, the Xianjia Gate's space energy is terrifying. It restricts human abilities. Otherwise, we would have found his aura under normal circumstances. We have to think of a way to lure Fang Yu out. The 3 experts discussed as they entered the forest to search for Fang Yu. In the blink of an eye, more than half a year passed. In an underground cave, Su Fang was sitting cross-legged next to the blood pool. Pure yang energy was constantly pouring into the blood ghost. The speed at which the blood ghost absorbed yang energy was too terrifying. Fortunately, Su Fang was constantly cultivating the 9 yang 9 transformations. Otherwise, the blood ghost would have devoured all his yang energy in half a year. Phew! Unexpectedly, before Su Fang could react, the blood wraith stood up and flew out, his eyes shining with an ominous blood-red light. Bang! In the blink of an eye, the blood ghost bit down on the altar. It was attacking the Green Feather King. However, the Green Feather King was a peerless expert. Although he was cultivating, it was impossible for the blood ghost to sneak attack him. The Green Feather King sent out a palm, blocking the blood ghost. He suddenly opened his eyes. Little monster, you dare to sneak attack this king? If it was an ordinary cultivator, they would have been bitten to death by you. At this time, Su Fang arrived. The blood ghost was attacking the Green Feather King. The blood ghost sensed Su Fang's arrival. It turned and shouted, Dad, Dad! Did he mishear? Su Fang shuddered. The blood ghost was calling him Dad? Ha ha! The Green Feather King laughed. That means you've completely subdued it. It must have had some memories when the unrestrained Devil King captured it. Now that it has absorbed your energy, your essence blood will naturally take you as its master. Furthermore, the blood ghost might be a monster, a vicious spirit, but the other half is still alive. It's a child. It's not surprising that it cultivated with you for so long. Dad! The blood ghost shouted again. Its aura was still resisting the Green Feather King's hand. Clearly, Su Fang was its only family here. Anyone around Su Fang was its enemy. Su Fang was bewildered. I'm not used to this. You haven't married and haven't consummated your marriage. It's your first time being a dad. You should get used to it. Isn't this a human talent? You're blessed to have such a son. Just be a good dad and take good care of him. The old monster was completely enjoying the show. Dad! Blood Ghost shouted with a smile. Apart from that, there was an ominous aura that made people tremble. Behave. Senior is my friend. Su Fang shouted at the Blood Ghost. Swoosh. The Blood Ghost immediately pounced at Su Fang. It slammed into Su Fang's chest, its head resting on his chest. This was Su Fang's first time coming into contact with the Blood Ghost. Its body didn't have much temperature. It was icy cold. It breathed, it had a heartbeat, and its blood was flowing. It was different from a human. Good boy. The Blood Ghost didn't stop. It was either smelling Su Fang's scent or lying on his neck, sitting on his neck, or sitting on his head. It even crawled around his thighs and calves. Su Fang suddenly felt that the Blood Ghost was actually a child. Its ferocious aura, blood energy, and killing intent could be completely guided. Moreover, the Blood Ghost couldn't be blamed. If it hadn't met the unrestrained True Devil, it would have been a normal human child. Dad. The Blood Ghost indeed became obedient. However, it still sat on Su Fang's neck and pulled on Su Fang's ears or nostrils with both hands. Kept calling him Dad. Do you know that you have another peerless treasure? The Green Feather King was very envious. You have many treasures on you. That mirror, Xian Wang's 6 Paths Pagoda, purple chi dharma spirit, fire god elephant, dragon taming wood, divine image jade annulus, and so on. However, only the Xian Wang Six Paths Pagoda, purple chi dharma spirit, and dragon taming wood can compare to the blood ghost. He didn't understand. Could it be that even a primordial chaos sage couldn't compare to the blood ghost? Su Fong calmed down. What do you mean? Once the Xian Wang Six Paths Pagoda becomes your life-bound treasure, it will also have flesh and blood. The purple chi dharma spirit and dragon taming wood are all life spirits in nature. They may also have flesh and blood. In this king's eyes, at least life is the most important. The blood ghost is both a treasure and a living life. This is what makes it different. It depends on which angle you look at it from, the Green Feather King explained quietly. Senior is right. No matter how precious a treasure is, it is still a treasure. It can be refined if it is gone. However, it only has one life. It turned out that Su Fong hadn't thought of this. The blood ghost was so special and so extraordinary. It was both a treasure and a living life. It was not much different from a human. The only difference was that it was an evil spirit from the moment it was born. Woo-woo! The blood ghost suddenly cried and curled up in Su Fong's arms again. What's wrong? Su Fong felt a headache coming on. Don't you know? When a child cries, it naturally wants to drink milk. Milk? Where do I have milk for it? I know you don't have milk. You are an ignorant fellow. The blood ghost is formed from essence blood. It is also known as a bloodthirsty ghost. When it is hungry, it will drink blood. Blood is its food. Then it wants to eat my blood. Just find the blood of demons and cultivators. It will devour itself. It is time to leave. This king has condensed a large amount of natural energy. It is enough for him to cultivate for a while. Let's go. He released a pagoda shadow and sucked the Green Feather King into the Xian Wang Six Paths Pagoda. Su Fong returned to the Leech King's body. The blood ghost wanted to open its mouth when it saw the Leech King. Fortunately, Su Fong scolded it. It was a bloodthirsty monster. Even the Leech King was afraid of it. I finally found a treasure armor for you to wear. You can't be naked, right? After flying out of the underground river, Su Fong summoned a treasure armor, which was a mid-grade magic treasure. He had the blood ghost help him condense blood and fuse with the treasure armor. The treasure armor automatically put on the blood ghost's body, turning into red clothes. Now, it looked quite lively and not much different from a human. In order to not let others see that it was a blood ghost, Su Fong even used his strength to suppress the vicious aura in its body. After returning to the surface, he deliberately released his blood energy. After a while, an eagle demon flew over. It was not strong, but it had the strength of an immortal. Su Fong wanted to see the blood ghost's strength and unseal it. Without Su Fong's order, the blood ghost quickly pounced over when the demon swooped down. Ayo! The eagle monster probably thought that an ordinary cultivator wouldn't be too dangerous, but it didn't expect the blood ghost to suddenly pounce on it and bite its neck. Moreover, the blood ghost used both hands to forcefully pull the monster's neck, twisting the monster's head off. Then, the blood ghost opened its mouth and began to gulp down the monster's blood. This scene was very similar to the ancient beast, the ape dog. Monster, it really was a monster. Brat, your luck is too good. Ordinary blood ghosts are not this powerful. It was refined by the unrestrained true devil. At that time, the unrestrained true devil already stood at the height of an immortal. The refined blood ghost is naturally different. The Green Feather King was also paying attention to the blood ghost. I have to give the blood ghost a name. He wanted to call the blood ghost back, but he could not say the word. Chapter 307. Brother, why don't you call it Gui Gui? Within Mysterious Yellow, Bai Ling suddenly spoke up from an altar less than 10 meters away from Green Feather King. Gui 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 is a good name. Su Fong immediately praised. Gui Gui had already torn the eagle's corpse to pieces. Not only had it sucked out all the blood, but it had also savagely turned the monster's corpse into a pile of minced meat. This was a monster that only knew how to kill. Gui Gui was not a human. There were at least 100 babies in the spirit pools, but it was the only one that had survived. It had been refined by unrestrained true devil using various methods, and it had lived for at least 10,000 years. A magic treasure. Gui Gui was also a magic treasure. After all, it was refined and did not grow like an ordinary human. Although it had flesh and blood, it would not become a normal person in the end. It was a magic treasure that devil path experts used to cultivate blood cultivators. But to Su Fong, Gui Gui was a human in Su Fong's eyes. But to Green Feather King, devil path cultivators, and the world's cultivators, Gui Gui was a monster, a tool. Blood ghosts have another use. I heard that devil path experts refine blood ghosts mainly to cultivate their avatars or to condense a reincarnation body. Su Fong was adapting to Gui Gui when Green Feather King suddenly said in his mind, "If devil path cultivators fail their tribulation or die in a battle, they will prepare blood ghosts as their new host. If they fail, they will use their young infant to devour blood ghosts and form a reincarnation method. Because of this, blood ghosts have a weakness. They can only drink blood, and they don't have the intelligence of a normal child. Otherwise, after being in the spirit pool for so many years, it would still only have the intelligence of a 1-year-old baby. Gui Gui is not a magic treasure in my eyes, but a human. In the future, when I have the ability, I will definitely change it and make it a normal human." Su Fong called out and activated the true devil blood plate. Gui Gui was very excited to see the true devil blood plate. Its blood contained the aura of the true devil blood plate, so it naturally liked it. When it entered the blood plate, it completely treated it as its home. Buzz. The token trembled slightly at this moment. "Junior apprentice Brother Fong, I am Hua Tianyuan. We were ambushed by a devil path expert and suffered great losses. I hope you can join us," said Hua Tianyuan. "Junior apprentice brother is also trapped in a forest and can't even protect himself. Please forgive me, senior apprentice brother." Su Fong responded out of politeness. Although Hua Tianyuan was a master of frozen moon cave heaven, he had a conflict with the godly power cauldron of barbarian rune. Besides, the Crown Prince party was everywhere, so Su Fong would not easily get close to this kind of people. He then flew towards the front of the forest. However, in the process of flying, some blurry Dao words suddenly appeared in his mind. It was the power of the heavenly secret life shrinking technique. If Hua Tianyuan or Frozen Moon Grotto Heaven is sensing me, then I'll rely on you. The more blurry the Dao runes were, the more likely it was not an expert using the heaven and earth sensing technique. Thinking about it, it should be Hua Tianyuan who was searching for his whereabouts. He didn't put Hua Tianyuan in his eyes, nor did he treat him as an enemy. If he did, he wouldn't have responded earlier. He then communicated with Green Feather King, "Senior, you really can't go inside the Xianjia Gate. What are you doing? Are you thinking about the Xianjia Gate?" Green Feather King was an old monster. He had accurately grasped Su Fong's thoughts. Su Fong nodded mischievously. Green Feather King couldn't help but laugh. "There are many curious people like you. Usually, those who entered the Xianjia Gate with curiosity, except for those peerless experts and elder-level characters, no one came out alive. Most of those people never appeared again after entering. This old man once knew that many of the eternal big goblin died inside. In the end, this king, Daojian Fox, and Sky Drill Rat Emperor didn't even take a step into the Xianjia Gate. I heard that old immortal Toad also entered the Xianjia Gate and came out alive, but he lost a layer of skin and didn't obtain any treasures. Everyone is curious about Dao artifact. I saw that the origin-suppressing demon transforming heavenly book in Li Haojie's hand is incomparably powerful. Dao artifacts are really incomparable. This junior still knows his own limit. It won't be too late to go in when this junior's cultivation reaches the indestructible or yang nascent realm. I don't believe that the heavenly Tao won't give me this bit of time. Since the eternal big goblin had already said this, Su Fang also gave up. He no longer thought about the Xianjia Gate. At least for now, it had nothing to do with him, a longevity cultivator. I didn't expect there to be a forest formed by such towering trees. In less than an hour, Su Fang quickly flew over. In front of him was an astonishing forest. Moreover, this forest was very vast. The shape of the trees was especially strange, like the comb on a rooster's head. This is Coxcomb Island, also known as Coxcomb Forest. It was formed tens of thousands of years ago. No one knows why there are such huge, ancient trees. They all believe that the Xianjia Gate gave birth to them. You have to be careful when you enter. There are many demon experts, but there are also many human experts. The trees in Coxcomb Forest bear spirit fruits, and each fruit has the ability to cleanse one's marrow. They are treasures that all demons need, said the Green Feather King with a sigh. So he had been here before. Su Fang immediately flew into Coxcomb Forest. Only when he arrived in front of the huge trees did he truly understand how astonishing the power of nature was. It had to be known that these huge trees had lived for tens of thousands of years, surpassing any other life. Less than 10 breaths of time after entering the forest, a dozen black-clothed people flew over from the direction he came from. The leader waved his hand behind him, and Hua Tianyuan walked out. The leader was the expert from the Crown Prince Society who wanted to kill Su Fang last time. This person coldly patted Hua Tianyuan on the shoulder. If you want to join my Crown Prince Society, this is your best chance. Go find him. As long as you can hold him back for a few breaths, we will make a move on him. Disciple understands. Hua Tianyuan flashed into the forest. Senior brothers. At this moment, several young soul black-clothed people flew over. Senior brother Xueling and senior brother Qing Qing are rushing over. We can kill Fang Yu at any time. After discussing for a while, they also entered the forest. The interior of Coxcomb Forest was another world. Su Fang found a large amount of spirit herbs on the huge trees. To longevity and heaven's fusion cultivators, these were all treasures. They were also good ingredients for refining pills. After collecting these spirit herbs, he came to the surface and found even more spirit herbs. The spirit herbs here were not very useful in the eyes of indestructible and yang soul expert. Furthermore, in this dangerous forest world, there was no need to encounter other troubles to collect spirit herbs. Someone's coming. Su Fang suddenly stood up and turned to look up. In just a moment, Hua Tianyuan flew over from midair. He felt strange, but at the same time confirmed that it was indeed Hua Tianyuan who was sensing him. Why is he here? The once strong cultivator was now just an indestructible first-stage existence. Hua Tianyuan landed on the ground. Junior brother Fang, our group was defeated by a demonic expert. I sensed you nearby earlier, so I came over hoping to find more people to train with you. Su Fang replied, I'm just a longevity disciple. I'll only be a burden to everyone. Furthermore, I came to Xianjia Gate this time to collect spirit herbs. I don't want to snatch those treasures. Since junior brother really doesn't want to join, let me rest here for a while and see if I can meet other senior brothers in this huge forest. Hua Tianyuan gave up and went to rest under a big tree in front. Since he had already said so, Su Fang could only continue to collect spirit herbs. However, just as he squatted down, he heard a sound that made his expression change greatly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, more than 10 flying swords passed through layers of coxcomb-shaped treetops and directly flew towards Su Fang. Whoosh! Hua Tianyuan hurriedly flew away. Good for you, Hua Tianyuan. His head was immediately surrounded by flying swords. His expression darkened, and he immediately crushed a teleportation talisman. At the same time, the teleportation talisman's power sucked Su Fang away. More than 10 flying swords pierced the ground where he was standing, setting off a huge explosion. Puff! Crack! Su Fong, who had just disappeared, was shaken out from 100 meters away. It turned out that the explosive power of more than 10 flying swords affected the space within 100 meters. Although Su Fong was traveling with the teleportation talisman, he was shaken out by the flying swords before he left the area. The teleportation talisman's traveling power was also destroyed. The attack power of more than 10 flying swords was really terrifying. The teleportation talisman was also destroyed. The area within 100 meters turned into ruins, and a 3-zhang deep pit appeared. In an instant, more than 10 black-clothed people flashed from the surroundings. Flying swords were also summoned in their hands. Su Fong coughed up blood. Only when he saw these people did he realize that the Crown Prince faction had come looking for him. Hua Tianyuan was also among them. They all looked like they wanted to get rid of Su Fong. The Crown Prince faction's influence is truly shocking. To be able to come here to kill me, who knows how many people like Hua Tianyuan have been bribed by them. Summoning his wind and flame dual spirit swords, he flew into the depths of Coxcomb Forest. Chase him. He's already heavily injured. He won't be able to last much longer. There were quite a few young soul experts among the black-clothed people. The others were all imperishable experts. One by one, they flew into the forest, chasing after Su Fong. Although Su Fong had his wind and flame dual spirit swords, his cultivation base was too low. Even if he increased his speed, he was still a bit slower than the experts chasing after him. They were gradually catching up. If this wasn't the Immortal Zhan Gate, I could kill them. But this place is filled with the Immortal Sealing Gate's disciples. Killing them would be equivalent to admitting to the Immortal Sealing Gate that I killed them. At that time, I won't be able to protect myself. Su Fong had the power to kill these people, and it would be extremely easy for him. Although there were several young soul experts, their cultivation bases were all below the 5th heavenly layer. His servants could easily wipe them out. There's movement. While using his immortal sealing art, he had been sensing every movement in the forest. Suddenly, he sensed movement in front of him. When he got closer, he saw a forest canyon. The instant he entered the canyon, he sensed devil chi. It was clear that this canyon hidden in the forest was the domain of a demonic path master. Su Fong recklessly flew in. Enemy invasion! A powerful voice filled with killing chi exploded in the surroundings. Whoosh! 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 Dozens of devil chi suddenly exploded. A large number of red-robed devil path experts appeared. They were about to attack when they saw Su Fong, but when they saw a dozen black-robed people behind him, they were at a loss. In just a moment of hesitation, the majority of the devil path experts went to kill Hua Tianyuan and the others. A few experts went to chase after Su Fong. This time, I won't have to be merciful when killing the devil path expert. Why kill them? Isn't it better to capture them as servants? Using the devil path experts to block the Crown Prince Society's members was a strange move. When he looked back, he saw 4 devil path experts chasing after him. One of them was a young soul expert, while the other 3 were immortal experts. He couldn't tell which devil path faction they were from, but from their appearance and aura, they definitely weren't a group of loose cultivators. The 4 devil path experts didn't give up and chased after him. After flying out of the canyon, he flew deeper into Coxcomb Forest. The further he flew, the thicker the fog became. It seemed he had reached the center of Coxcomb Forest. Since you delivered yourselves to me, I naturally won't be polite. He arrived on a tree branch and summoned Mo Fengjun. Chapter 308. It's just a few ants. Master, watch me slap them with one move. Mo Fengjun appeared and shouted coldly before suddenly flying out. Kill! 4 demonic figures shuttled over and turned into a blood-red burning state. Each of them bared their fangs and brandished their claws. Not good. The demonic experts that were chasing after them were met with a 5-fingered demonic chi. Each of the demonic experts was close to despair. They cried out in alarm and attacked the 5-fingered palm with all their strength. If it wasn't a demonic snake, then it was a demonic giant. The demonic snake was like a tiger pouncing on a sheep. The demonic giant was like a war god crashing into the 5-fingered palm. After it appeared, it kept roaring, revealing a frightening malevolence. You little brats, I came from a different world. What kind of battle have I not experienced? Unless your strength has reached the 10th layer of the Yang Soul realm, you dare to be impudent in front of me? 222 The 5-fingered palm had boundless strength. It swept across the demonic snake and broke it into pieces. It hit the demonic giant and caused the giant to collapse. Then, the 4 experts activated their artifacts together, wanting to use their strongest power to block Mo Fengjuan's terrifying strength. The result was just as Mo Fengjuan said. The huge palm knocked down the 4 people's artifact. At the same time, the 4 people fell down one after another. They were as weak as wooden puppets. True demonic blood plate. Just as the 4 people fell down, Su Fang came over and the true demonic blood plate flew out of his palm. It slowly spun and sucked the 4 people in. Previously, I caught 3 imperishable realm experts. Adding the 4 now, I have a total of 7 slaves. One of them is even at the Yang Soul realm. He called back the true demonic blood plate and immediately sent out a thought to not let Gue Gue kill them. It just so happened that Gue Gue was also hungry. He needed to catch some demonic beasts for it to eat. I need to see how the battle between the Crown Prince faction and the demonic experts is going. Su Fang and Mo Fengjun went to the side and grabbed a demonic figure. It was the Yang Soul realm demonic expert among the 4. Since you know my methods, be obedient in the future. If you don't, I will let Blood Ghost eat you. Yes. Master actually has Blood Ghost. This Yang Soul realm demonic expert knew that his fate was like this. He didn't have any extravagant demands. He only wanted to live. Su Fang directly asked, "What are you guys from the demonic faction? What are you doing there? Do you have treasures?" The demonic expert knelt down. This subordinate is from the Evil Earth sect. We are only a part of the faction of the Xianjia Gate. This time, we are not here to steal. Is his sect. We. To the S. If there really were treasures, they could take the chance to steal them. Under the protection of the 2 Yang Soul servants, the 3 returned to the canyon in less than half an incense stick's time. They thought that the Evil Earth Sect's experts and the Crown Prince Society's experts were fighting fiercely. But they did not hear any movement. The 3 of them were very curious. After confirming that there was no movement, they went to the canyon to take a look. There were pieces of flesh and corpses everywhere. Furthermore, they were the corpses of the Evil Earth Sect's experts. There was not a single corpse of the Crown Prince Society. What is going on? There are several 6th and 7th stage Yang Soul existences here. The demonic expert was in disbelief. Gue Gue. Su Fang called out Gue Gue. When Gue Gue saw the corpses, she released a fierce spirit's aura and pounced on them. She grabbed the pieces of flesh and started to eat them. Unfortunately, there are no treasures or empty pouches left behind. Mo Fengjun, take a look. They should have been killed by the Crown Prince Society. Su Fang looked around and was very disappointed. To be able to kill these experts in such a short time, and in such a state, it should be a 10th stage Yang Soul expert, Thunder. Only then would he be able to kill the Evil Earth Sect's experts in 2 to 3 moves. The huge force exploded in an instant, blowing them all to death. The latter said confidently. Su Fang's heart trembled. The Crown Prince Society is determined to get rid of me in Xianjia Gate. Mo Fengjun approached. I can see that if this force was to ambush Master, and Master did not have the protection of the Xianhuang Six Paths Pagoda or the True Demon Blood Plate, the result would have been the same. The leader of the Crown Prince Society, Prince Shui, this subordinate, Qi Lianxing, has also heard of him. He is indeed a peerless genius and is famous in many alternate worlds. Don't blame this subordinate for speaking too much. With Master's current cultivation, even 10,000 masters would not be a match for Prince Shui. Prince Shui's influence is so shocking? He is a well-known figure among the younger generation. I heard that he is the reincarnation of a true dragon and obtained the immortal Dao grounds. There are also many legends. Prince Shui has a good relationship with Qi Lianxing's co-family, which is why this subordinate knows of him. After seeing him once, this subordinate will never forget his overbearing aura. Although there are countless cultivators, those who are truly young and stand at the peak are few and far between. Prince Shui is one of them, and so are the other two venerable Dao disciples of your celestial sealing school. I can't be a coward just because Prince Shui is strong. I, Su Fang, have cultivated for dozens of years. I am not like those ancient experts, but I have also experienced countless life and death situations. Only courage and challenges can allow me to grow in adversity. Currently, I only have a personal grudge with the Crown Prince Society, so I won't directly offend Prince Shui. Let's deal with this trouble first. I have to plan well, otherwise I will be ambushed by the Crown Prince Society at all times during this training. Looking at the minced meat on the ground, although he was not afraid, Su Fang was very shocked. Everything showed that the Crown Prince Society really wanted to get rid of him this time. Although Prince Shui is a genius, this subordinate has never seen a peerless genius like Master. Master, you can fight against any Yang Soul powerhouse with just the longevity realm. Master can do whatever you want. So what if you poke a hole in the sky? In any case, cultivators can't predict the future. It's better to live well in the present. Mo Fengjun began to flatter, but he was speaking from the bottom of his heart. The Crown Prince Society will use all kinds of methods to find my whereabouts. I can only do my best to enter the depths of the Celestial Sealing School and do my best to avoid contact with the Celestial Sealing School's disciples. Come in. After pondering for a moment, he absorbed the two experts into his body. Gui Gui. With a wave of its hand, Gui Gui, who had devoured all the corpses and minced meat on the ground, leaped into Su Fang's arms and flew out of the valley with him. Along the way, he also planned to change his appearance. But that plan definitely wouldn't work here. That was because the Xianjia Gate had 100,000 disciples from the Immortal Sealing Sect, as well as 3 disciples from the Path of Reverence. They all had the ability to sense the immortal sealing source within their bodies. He couldn't perfectly hide his identity. Since there was a chance of him being discovered, he couldn't easily change his appearance. If the Crown Prince Society discovered this, wouldn't they be on guard in the future? Even more terrifying was that the Immortal Sealing Sect would take out their truth phase mirror and reveal his true identity. Furthermore, even if they didn't use a magic treasure like the truth phase mirror, they would still be able to find out his identity. Before he obtained the Violet Qi Law Spirit, he had to hide his true identity. Otherwise, if Zhao Wuji's faction knew his true identity, they would clearly know why he had joined the Immortal Sealing Sect. Otherwise, if they wanted to kill him, they would have to obtain his Violet Qi Law Spirit. After passing through layers of spiritual mist, he didn't know how far he was from the Xianjia Gate. Suddenly, he heard a series of rumbling sounds coming from the ground. It sounded like an earthquake, but it wasn't too strong. After flying for a while, he unexpectedly didn't see any heavily injured cultivators flying out of the mountains. He curiously looked over and saw that one of the mountains had been hollowed out. Explosions were coming from below. They're all fighting over the spirit vein. Several heavily injured cultivators who managed to escape asked their companions for help. Spirit vein, this was a peerless treasure. Could it be that there was a spirit vein under this hollowed-out mountain? Su Fang immediately flew down and met more than a dozen cultivators who had also come for the spirit vein. Before they even saw the spirit vein, they were already looking at each other with hostility. When he arrived at the depths, he saw nearly 1,000 people fighting each other. At the bottom of the cliff that had been dug out in the depths of the center, there was a sparkling spirit light flickering. Under the light there was indeed a silver by Ling vein embedded in the rock layer. Some cultivators activated their divine abilities to cut the spirit vein or used flying swords to attack. All the cultivators in the surroundings were in a mess. Most of them were rogue cultivators or small factions. Among them, there were also many experts of the Devil Dao. Whoosh! Su Fang flew straight to the spirit vein. Swish! Swish! No one knew who it was, and no matter who Su Fang was, a sword chi came down from above. He used the fire cloud steps to dodge the sword chi. He could already see the spirit vein in front of him. It was a huge, complete, and perfect spirit vein. This was a peerless treasure. The celestial sealing gate's disciples have also come. You're courting death. A young soul cultivator had just killed several undying cultivators and was about to rush to the spirit vein when he saw Su Fang appear from the side. He was enraged. However, just as he was about to use his strength, a majestic young soul fist came from the other side. He was caught off guard and fell to the ground. Hee, with your cultivation level, you want to seize the spirit vein? A bald middle-aged fatty came out from the middle of the road and killed all of them. Behind him, a few longevity, undying, and undying experts flew over. The bald fatty kicked in the air, and the air stirred up a strong chi, causing everyone to be thrown off their feet. So strong. He's probably close to the 10th stage of the Yang Soul realm. He didn't expect such a bald expert to suddenly appear. Scram! The fatty charged at Su Fang's stomach. Baldy, I won't provoke you. Su Fang quickly opened up a path. Baldy! The fatty flew into a rage. He raised his left hand and a large wind blade swept toward Su Fang. He didn't care about the life and death of a longevity sect disciple. However, Su Fang had already summoned a flying sword and used the ruler of heaven divine steps to dodge. However, the fatty's strength was too shocking, and he was still sent flying by the aura. He also implicated a few undying cultivators, and they were chopped into pieces by the aura. With so many young soul cultivators, it really is hard to get the spirit vein. Today, I'll go all out for it. Seeing so many young soul cultivators charging at the spirit vein, he realized that other than young soul cultivators, no one else had a chance of getting it. A spirit vein really is rare. It can be placed in the Xianhuang earth to increase its spiritual energy. Kid, this king supports you in seizing the spirit vein. The Green Feather King also smiled greedily. With over 20 slaves using the 8 origin soul elephant formation, can we get the spirit vein? Asked Su Fang urgently. Of course, because you have the 8 origin soul elephant formation. Adding on over 20 young soul cultivators, they'll need 2 hours to break the formation. All you have to do is dig out the spirit vein during that time. Bone-shifting art. He first changed his appearance. He couldn't use his identity as a disciple of the Celestial Sealing Sect to set up the 8 origin soul elephant formation. He then used the flame cloud steps to arrive near the spirit vein. While no one was paying attention, he summoned the 25 young soul slaves, including the ones from the Fiend Earth sect. Chapter 309. Ha ha! The 25 young soul slaves were led by Mo Fengjun. As soon as they appeared, they were filled with killing intent. Following Su Fang's will, they instantly pounced towards the spirit vein. There were dozens of experts attacking each other around the spirit vein. No one could concentrate on seizing the spirit vein in a short period of time. Papa Pemo Fengjun, Xiahou Ling, Zhua Zuifeng, and the others exerted their strength at the same time. Their vast power propelled an astonishing aura, causing the center of the spirit vein to instantly explode, forcefully pushing away the surrounding cultivators who were fighting. Whoosh! Su Fang also flashed above the spirit vein and grabbed countless formation runes. Those experts who were blasted away were naturally unwilling. How could they give up on the spirit vein? Moreover, their forces weren't weak, and they completely had the chance to obtain the spirit vein. Following that, they charged over again. However, they weren't as united as Mo Fengjun and the others, each of them forming their own camp. If they weren't throwing out magical treasures, then they were throwing out divine abilities that filled the sky. Reverse Golden Light Sword. There were too many experts, and all kinds of methods were emerging one after another. The pressure was like raging waves beating against the shore. Mo Fengjun glanced around, especially when he saw that Su Fang was still setting up the formation. He flipped his palm, and a king-grade sword light rose. The experts who were forming a siege were all attracted by the golden sword light. It's a royal-grade Dharma artifact. Many low-level Yang Soul Realm experts, as well as some imperishable realm experts, were so scared that their faces turned ashen. Reverse slaying sword technique. Mo Fengjun did not care about the crowd. He wanted to buy time for Su Fang. With that said, he waved his hand, and the reverse golden light sword slashed out in all directions. Xiao, 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 a large amount of golden sword qi exploded around the experts. What a terrifying magic treasure, what a terrifying sword qi. Kill! Zhou Zuifeng, Xiahou Ling, and the others also stood in a row, activating all kinds of magical treasures and abilities to block the experts coming from other directions. At this moment, Mo Fengjun completely displayed his abilities. His strength had reached the peak of the Yang infant realm, and he specialized in attacking high-level experts. Dang! Suddenly, the golden sword qi was blocked by a black blade. The Baldi was the fat, bald Yang Soul giant from before. 9th stage Yang Soul. Mo Fengjun flew out and stared at the black blade. It was the luster of a peak high-grade magic treasure. Upon closer inspection, it was a pair of black eagle claws. The bald fatty wore a pair of black boxing gloves on his hand. It didn't look special, but it was a high-quality, high-grade magic tool. Moreover, he had used this glove to catch the sword qi of the golden light sword. One could imagine how powerful it was. What an expert! Mo Fengjun coldly smiled. This smile was completely filled with battle intent. Even the great powers would fight over such a spirit vein. How can you keep it all to yourself? The bald fatty's robes suddenly fluttered. Chi-He pounced forward at an astonishing speed, and his gauntlets caught the twisted sharp blades. 8 Origin Divine Elephant Formation, Form. Hold on for half an hour. Seeing that there were more and more masters surrounding them, the slave magnate might only be able to buy them some time. Su Fang clapped his hands on the spirit vein, and the fire god elephant and the 13 fire crystal men exploded along with the surrounding formation runes. Buzz! A layer of enchantment instantly swept out in all directions. Enter the formation. Mo Fengjun slashed out a golden sword qi and shook the bald fatty away. He then turned around and entered the array formation with the other Yang Soul Realm giant. So it's a group. Everyone, the spirit vein is an ownerless item. If this group of people wants to use the formation to seize it, wouldn't we have come here for nothing? Wouldn't we just be helping others? A high-level Yang Soul Realm expert charged over. His strength was about the same as the bald fatty's. He spat out a bolt of lightning that struck the 8 Origin Divine Elephant Formation's enchantment. The formation shook, but it was impregnable. Break the formation. The surrounding dozens of Yang Soul Realm experts, as well as over 100 imperishable realm experts, as well as the hundreds of people behind them, constantly surged forward. They summoned their magic treasures and prepared to attack the 8 Origin Divine Elephant Formation. Work together and use your power to control the 8 origin divine elephant formation. Try your best to hold on. The formation is built on top of the spirit vein, so it can constantly absorb spirit energy. Within the formation, Su Fang looked at the 25 Yang Soul Realm Giants. After giving the order, he gave the Fire God Elephant and the 13 Fire Crystal Men to Mo Fengjun and the others to control. He immediately arrived above the spirit vein. With a wave of his hand, Green Feather King appeared. This spirit vein is firmly embedded deep in the ground. I don't know how shocking it is. This king can't use his full power, so as to avoid attracting the immortal sealing sex experts. I estimate he'll be able to take it out in an hour. Green Feather King attacked. His hand struck the spirit vein. Following that, a burst of green demonic chi spread out from the top of the spirit vein. The green demonic chi then transformed into a green net. As expected of an ancient expert, he wanted to seal the spirit vein in one go. Green Feather King stared at Su Fang. Go support the formation. Although there are many Yang Soul Realm Giants, they won't be able to hold on for long. The 8 origin divine elephant formation still has countless divine abilities. You can use some of them to dissolve the attack. Don't fight them head-on. Junior understands. He was completely at ease leaving the spirit vein to Green Feather King. In a flash, he appeared above the 8 origin divine elephant formation. In just a few breaths, the 8 primordial spiritual elephant formation was surrounded by cultivators in all directions. There were hundreds of them, and most of them were Undying Realm experts. Those Undying and Longevity Realm cultivators had already been killed, and the remaining ones were all experts with outstanding strength or extraordinary magic treasures. They were working well together. If it wasn't magic treasures, then it was divine abilities. They attacked the 8 origin divine elephant formation again and again, causing the formation to suffer heavy damage. If it wasn't built on top of the spirit vein, the formation might have already been damaged. He immediately met up with Mo Fengjun and the others. You guys release your power. I'll use the 8 origin divine elephant formation's divine ability. With an order, every Yang Soul Realm Giant released their power, wrapping it around Su Fang. As if he had suddenly become a Yang Soul Realm Giant, Su Fang's eyes were filled with a fierce aura. 8 origin space, transform and move. The Fire Divine Elephant and the 13 Fire Crystal Golems entered the formation. At this time, in front of countless experts, the 8 origin divine elephant formation was originally standing still. However, as it transformed, there was a buzzing sound. A few Yang Soul Realm Giant released their divine abilities, and just as they were about to hit the 8 origin divine elephant formation, the entire formation transformed into 8 layers of space. When the experts' attacks entered the formation, the 8 layers of space suddenly surged towards them. With a boom, the attacks were thrown out from the other side by the formation's mirage. Attack! The formation changed again. On the left side, there were several extremely powerful Yang Soul Realm Giant releasing their divine abilities. Suddenly, a part of the formation shifted, turning into a huge door that charged towards those giants. The formation's door and the giant's divine abilities shattered at the same time. Tut tut tut. Although the 8 origin divine elephant formation was miraculous and there were many experts surging over, they didn't think too much. They activated their magic treasures and attacked like a tide. As for the 8 origin divine elephant formation, it could only shift a part of its power away. The attacks from other directions were still heavily damaging the formation. Bang! 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 The formation transformed again and again, but there were still various magic treasures and divine abilities attacking it. Every collision brought about a shocking force that shook Su Fang's arms and body. He felt his meridians expand more and more. Behind him, the Yang Soul Realm slaves were sweating profusely. Each of them was holding on. There was strength in numbers. If they were dealing with several Yang Soul Realm giants in this state, it wouldn't be a problem at all. However, facing the attacks of several hundred cultivators, Su Fang and the other Yang Soul Realm giants couldn't bear it. Su Fang also planned to lure a portion of those experts into the formation and suppress them into slave. However, these cultivators were all experienced and wouldn't easily enter the formation. It was better to attack from the outside and break the formation. Boom! A huge force hit the formation. The vibration produced a powerful pressure that made Su Fang and the other experts unable to breathe. 10th Stage Yang Soul Realm Giant. Mo Fengjun once again grabbed the reverse-killing golden light sword. Be careful, the opponent is at the peak of the Yang Soul Realm. Even if he uses a high-grade magic treasure, his power is still boundless. Su Fang knew that Mo Fengjun wanted to kill his way out and contend against that expert alone. I also can't use the full power of the reverse-killing golden light sword. If I had the cultivation of that elder from the myriad treasures path, I would have already killed all the cultivators here. Yang Soul Realm cultivators were also unable to truly unleash the power of a royal-grade Dharma artifact. To them, high-grade Dharma artifacts were the best weapons. Moreover, even a Yang Soul Realm cultivator might not necessarily be able to unleash the full power of a high-grade Dharma artifact. Clang! When Mo Fengjun flew out of the formation, he raised his head and saw a spear stabbing down. He swung his reverse-killing golden light sword and collided with the spear in midair. Mo Fengjun raised his head and saw that the opponent was a somewhat sloppy person. He couldn't see his appearance clearly, but he was definitely a very powerful person. The 10th Stage Yang Soul Realm was a cultivation that many people couldn't even dream of. Whoosh! Not good. Some of the Yang Soul Realm experts behind him seemed to have a tacit understanding. They actually took advantage of the gap when the elder was suppressing Mo Fengjun to attack him from behind. Mo Fengjun shouted in his heart. When the pressure of the attack hit his back, he hurriedly stabbed his sword in front of the attack. As expected of a royal-grade magic treasure, it strongly blocked the attack and continued to advance. However, at this moment, blood gushed out from Mo Fengjun's mouth. Die! In a besieging state, there were experts everywhere and all kinds of attacks could be launched at any time. However, the one who brought the real danger to Mo Fengjun was the elder behind him. A white spear left the elder's hand and pierced towards the back of Mo Fengjun's head. Illusion Cloud Rope. Mo Fengjun cleverly released a few illusion cloud ropes that wrapped around the white spear. After affecting the spear's speed, he grabbed the reverse-killing golden light sword and pounced towards the elder. Whoosh! Under Mo Fengjun's control, the reverse-killing golden light sword pierced towards the elder. Flesh Fetus Divine Armor. The elder was afraid of the reverse-killing golden light sword. As he retreated, he used all kinds of defenses, especially a layer of black armor that appeared on his body. The reverse-killing golden light sword pierced through the defenses and shattered them again and again until it hit the Flesh Fetus Divine Armor, causing the elder to be sent flying. He called back the white spear and turned around to sweep it. The spear released an astonishing spear light that bypassed Mo Fengjun's reaction and hit his defenses, causing Mo Fengjun to vomit blood again. Come back! Su Fang shouted. Mo Fengjun stepped on the reverse-killing golden light sword and was attacked by the other Yang Soul Realm expert. Their auras shattered his defenses once again and a lot of pressure hit him. Phaseless Fire Cloud Saber. After absorbing everyone's power, Su Fang activated the illusion fire cloud. Especially the elder, he actually heavily injured Mo Fengjun and almost killed him. Huff, 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 huff. The illusion fire cloud exploded with the power of the Yang Soul Realm and formed a terrifying burning saber light around the array formation. It immediately looked like a burning saber mountain. Moreover, the illusion fire cloud had the aura of a great world and was burning more and more fiercely in this space, causing all the cultivators to retreat. However, their attacks continued and heavily injured the 8 Origin Divine Elephant Array. Rumble! At this moment, a deafening vibration came from the entire underground space. Everyone looked at the burning saber light mountain and saw that a green demonic light had appeared below it. This green demonic light actually lifted up the entire array formation. Countless cultivators in the surroundings were shocked on the spot because this green demonic light actually uprooted a spirit vein that was dozens of feet long from the ground. Chapter 310. Demon. A peerless big goblin. None of the cultivators were not shocked. They did not expect that there would be a peerless big goblin under the formation that had grabbed the entire spirit vein. Whoosh! Whoosh! The cultivators from all directions approached again and threw out their magic treasures. 8 Elements Transformation. Su Fang was controlling the formation. When he saw all kinds of magic treasures, he broke out in cold sweat. At this moment, he deeply felt what it was like to be outnumbered. The disillusion fire flame continued to explode, and the 8 Elements Transformation formation was separated into 8 layers. The 8 layers suddenly merged together and formed a formation. Boom! 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 Hundreds of mid-grade and high-grade magic treasures landed on the 8 Elements Transformation formation, shaking Su Fang and the 25 Yang Soul Realm cultivators to the point of vomiting blood. More importantly, the formation was breaking. It still could not withstand the attacks of a large number of magic treasures. Whoosh! Suddenly, Green Feather King spat out a mouthful of demonic chi at the spirit vein that had just emerged from the ground. He actually sucked it into his mouth. A huge spirit vein disappeared into thin air. We can't let them escape. The formation is broken. Many Yang Soul Realm cultivators felt the 8 Elements Transformation formation disappear, and a large number of magic treasures appeared, hovering in the air, waiting for the second attack. Green Feather King came to Su Fang's side. We can go now. Su Fang quickly sucked the Fire God Elephant and the 13 Fire Crystal Golems into his palm. Fortunately, there was the disillusion fire flame cloud burning outside. He looked at Mo Fengjun and the others, then cupped his fists at Green Feather King. Rock King Jr., do you see that big goblin? Before we leave, I will suppress him and almost kill Mo Fengjun. All right, you can only be willful this time. This king has also consumed a lot of energy. The key is not to release your aura too much. Green Feather King shook his head, but at this moment, he understood Su Fang's intention. Behind Su Fang, the Yang Soul Realm cultivators were deeply moved. Su Fang wanted to vent their anger for them. Hand of Devouring. Green Feather King sent a palm strike at the big goblin 100 meters away. Whoosh! A green demonic light flew out of the burning saber light and unexpectedly pounced at the big goblin. Big goblin! The tall man was trembling in fear. Unfortunately, the surrounding experts were also emitting green demonic light, but none of them attacked. This was because they were also eager for the tall man to be killed so that they would have one less opponent. As soon as the tall male grabbed the spear, the ground trembled with a hong sound. The green demonic light shattered his defenses, and then wrapped around him, grabbing at the air. Swish! His entire body disappeared into the burning volcano along with the green demonic light. Not good, there seems to be no aura inside. The person escaped. A few of the giants were also scared quite a bit, feeling great restraining fear in their hearts. However, what made them even more concerned was that the flames on the burning mountain had weakened. There was no formation inside, nor was there a single figure. Countless cultivators madly chased after him. Under the burning flames, the shadow of a pagoda shrank to the size of a finger in the underground stone layer that had lost the spirit vein. It merged with the underground stone layer and disappeared from the place where the spirit vein grew. Xianwang's 6 Paths Pagoda, everyone, go ahead and consume all of these spiritual items. especially the yang strengthening pill. 25 yang soul slaves entered the magic treasure space. They were all exhausted. A large amount of resources flew out from Su Fang's palm, and the other slaves immediately absorbed them. Especially Mo Fengjun. Su Fang gave him some spirit fruits and undying flowers to consume. This time, it was all thanks to him. Otherwise, if he had used the reverse-killing golden sword and blocked the attacks of so many giants with a king-grade artifact, the formation would have shattered even faster. This king has already sealed this person. I'll leave him to you. Behind them Green Feather Monarch was also very tired. After sitting down, he opened his mouth and spat out a figure. It was the tall man who had almost killed Mo Fengjun. The tall man struggled. At this moment, his appearance could be seen clearly. He was a very handsome middle-aged man, but his face was covered in stubble. He looked very old. After appearing, the tall man struggled several times before gradually collapsing. He looked around and seemed to understand his situation. True devil imprint. Su Fang did not hold back and shot a demonic light at the tall man. You. He struggled in fear, but the true demonic imprint forcefully entered his mind. Su Fang said indifferently, "From now on, you are my slave. It's fine if you obey, but if you don't, I'll turn you into ashes at any time. What is your name? Which faction are you from?" Humph. The tall man was actually disdainful. He looked down on Su Fang, a long-life cultivator. "Master." Mo Fengjun sat cross-legged in the distance. "I'll leave this person to you to teach him a lesson. Look at how tight his mouth is. Let's see how long his pitiful self-esteem can last." Su Fang raised his hand and swept the tall man over. "We won't hold back." The other slaves looked at the tall man covetously, full of hostility. Su Fang's figure flashed. In front of him was no longer a dark underground, but a forest. The Xianwang Six Paths Pagoda disappeared from his palm. His appearance turned into a square, and he flew forward. At this moment, Su Fang's situation was not good. Not only was his energy consumption astonishing, but his body was also heavily injured. He came to a mountain peak, and after setting up a formation, he began to use the 9 Yang 9 transformations to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. He also merged with the dragon-taming wood and swallowed many pure essence pills. The primordial chaos sacred realm in the depths of his body also emitted an astonishing cold aura. After absorbing the cold aura, it merged with the yang aura and immediately swallowed all the aura in his body. Originally, he thought that the energy of the outer realm was complex and that cultivators could not melt it after fusing with the energy of the great world. However, when he used the 9 Yang 9 transformations and inadvertently absorbed the natural energy, he discovered that after the complex energy entered his body, it merged with the cold aura and yang aura. Strange. Why did I melt the energy that even the giants could not fuse? Ever since he entered the outer realm, Su Fang had never used the 9 Yang 9 transformations to cultivate. If he had not consumed so much energy this time and needed to cultivate to recover, he would not have cultivated in the outer realm. Therefore, he did not absorb the natural energy of the outer realm. However, after absorbing it, he could fuse with the energy. This was inexplicable. About a few days later, because the natural energy of the outer realm contained the high-level aura from the Xianjia Gate, Su Fang's recovery speed was astonishing. Even he found it unbelievable. He peeled off a wisp of consciousness and entered the primordial chaos sacred realm. "Senior." After calling again and again, about an hour later, there was finally a response. "Why did you come here to waste time instead of cultivating?" Su Fang explained his reason for coming. The mysterious woman immediately explained, "The fusion of pure yang and pure yin represents the supreme laws of yin and yang in the world. All things are born from yin and yang. Any energy will naturally be fused by yin and yang. The main point is that you cultivate the 9 yang 9 transformations and have pure yang energy. That is why you can absorb the aura of the great world. This is nothing. You have already discovered that pure yang energy can fuse with demonic aura and demonic aura. Therefore, the energy of the great world does not have much pressure on you unless it is pure energy from the great world. Yin-yang dual cultivation is so incredible. The latter understood. You already have a huge treasure vault, but you have not discovered it and do not have the ability to open it. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Talk about it after you become an immortal. I will continue to cultivate. Don't disturb me if you have nothing to do. The mysterious woman's voice slowly faded away. His divine consciousness returned. He did not expect the 9 yang 9 transformations to have such a miraculous ability. Didn't this mean that all the cultivators who came to the outer realm would be imprisoned and only he could cultivate? Advantage. He did not expect that he would be able to obtain such an advantage in the outer realm, which was a natural barrier. In less than a month, his body's energy was constantly recovering and had increased by a lot. His physical injuries had also recovered after absorbing the dragon's subduing wood and using pure yang energy. If he could not absorb the energy of the outer realm, he would not be able to recover for at least 3 years. It turned out that the outer realm was a blessed land for him. Master, Feng Xingzhen has been tamed by this subordinate. He is willing to be Master's servant. Mo Fengjuan's thought came from Mysterious Yellow. When he entered Mysterious Yellow, he saw a tall man standing obediently beside Mo Fengjun. When he saw Su Feng, he quickly knelt down. Master. Feng Xingzhen, the name of the tall servant. Su Feng coldly stared at him. Feng Xingzhen, 10th stage young soul. Your cultivation is the highest here. Serve me well in the future. To be honest, I don't have the time to torture you. Since you have fallen into my hands, you have to be obedient. Previously, I killed a yang soul expert and refined him into a servant. If you don't follow the rules, your fate will be the same. Otherwise, if you serve me wholeheartedly, you will have the day you regain your freedom. Mo Fengjun patted Feng Xingzhen's shoulder. Master has never treated us as slaves. We can cultivate here. This is a peerless king-grade Dao artifact with an endless supply of spirit energy. Also, these resources were all given to us by Master. Master's ability is unquestionable. Otherwise, you and I would not be standing here. Look at my reverse-killing golden sword. It is a treasure that Master took from the myriad treasures path and gave to me. This subordinate is wholeheartedly convinced. Feng Xingzhen knelt straight. I don't understand your past, but your future will surpass your imagination. Su Feng helped Feng Xingzhen up. Since Mo Fengjun did not hold a grudge, what else did he care about? Spirit vein. Everyone suddenly looked up at the sky. Under the condensation of a demonic light, a spirit mountain the size of a small mountain slowly solidified above everyone. Green Feather King, who had recovered his energy, had spat out the spirit vein from his body. Su Feng looked at Green Feather King. Let's have the spirit vein float in the first layer of Xianhuang. Senior, what do you think? That way, Xianhuang can absorb it and we can cultivate. All right. Such a spirit vein could be used to refine items or build a huge Dao right. But for you, raising your cultivation base is the most important thing. Once you have enough strength, refining items and building a Dao right won't be a problem, agreed Green Feather King. In truth, Su Feng wanted to ask Peng Yanjin, Gao Qing, Wu Wei, and the other experts of the Myriad Treasures Path about refining the spirit vein. But when he saw so many servants, Green Feather King, Bai Ling, and the 6 junior commanders in the end, he decided to use the spirit vein to cultivate. Buzz. At this moment, the token began to move. Su Feng activated his command medallion, and Qi Tianzhen's voice transmitted, "Follow my aura as the target. All disciples must gather here and capture the spirit beast." If we can capture the spirit beast, our group will definitely contribute greatly to senior apprentice Sister Huang. It sounds like we have no choice but to go. So it was Qi Tianjin. The core of this trial is the 3 Exalted Paths disciples. The sect is testing their leadership ability. If I don't go, I'll lose my footing. I've already offended the Crown Prince faction, but I can't offend the Fragrant Jade faction. To go or not to go? Once the Crown Prince faction appeared, they would attack. If he didn't go, wouldn't he be indirectly offending the Fragrant Jade faction? Even if he didn't offend the Fragrant Jade faction, he would offend Qi Tianjin. That was an order he had personally issued, and he was representing the sect. If he didn't go, he would be disobeying the sect's orders. Furthermore, the Exalted Path's disciples had the power to kill. He represented Huang Lingyao, so he had a legitimate reason to deal with him. Spirit beasts are rare existences. I've never seen one before. Well, since there's no choice, I might as well take it one step at a time. As long as Qi Tianjin hasn't been bribed by the Crown Prince faction. Clenching his fists, he immediately activated the token and sent it into the spiritual mist. Chapter 3:11. In less than 2 hours, in the center of the barrier outside the Xianjia Gate, a large number of blue-robed disciples from the Celestial Sealing sect were gathered in the spirit fog of a large mountain range. There were more than 1,000 people, and it was truly a spectacular sight. Su Fang arrived in time and immediately received Qi Tianjin's order to condense the great overarching heavenly sword Qi rune talisman. He looked at the other disciples who were also condensing their own rune talismans. As expected, Fang Yu is still alive and well. Damn it, I failed to help the Crown Prince Society kill him. Now I've become his enemy. How can a longevity disciple like you become an enemy of the Crown Prince Society? Many pairs of eyes were searching in the dark. One of the eyes belonged to Hua Tianyuan. He found Su Fang once again and smirked coldly. Then, he activated the token. A few days later, Qi Tianjin's thought came from the token: everyone, try your best to condense the magic skills you have learned into runes. This time, we are going to catch the 100 Spirits Ape, which is a spiritual beast of heaven and earth. Most of them are used to guard the Taoist field. If we catch the 100 Spirits Ape, we will make a great contribution to the sect. Later, there will be masters from senior sister Huang Lingyao leading us to form a team and look for the 100 Spirits Ape in the complicated space ahead. Su Fang had already condensed a large number of Zenith Heaven Sword Qi runes. In fact, he had mainly been circulating the 9 Yang 9 transformations during this period of time and absorbing the cold Qi inside the primordial Chaos Sage realm. Then, he absorbed the complicated energy of the immortal Jia Door. His strength was almost at the perfected 6th firmament of the longevity realm. He was very confident that he could advance to the 7th firmament of the longevity realm. After a while, a young nascent soul cultivator indeed arrived. It was a woman. Since it was a woman, she was obviously a member of the Fragrant Jade Party. Her cultivation was at the 6th tier of the young nascent soul stage, and she was already a very powerful expert. I am Xuanxin Yao. Come with me to find the 100 Spirits Ape. If you see this spirit beast, you must listen to its orders. Although the 100 Spirits Ape is not a spirit beast, it is still very powerful. It can kill without blinking. Only by joining hands can we suppress it. More than 30 people were summoned by the woman. Everyone gathered around and listened quietly. Xuanxin Yao exuded a bit of young infant's might, causing everyone to tremble in fear. Furthermore, she was an existence that could surpass the immortal realm. Everyone prepared for a while, and then followed Xuanxin out. There were also quite a few small groups moving out from other directions, all of them led by Yang Soul Realm big shots. There is a vast canyon in front of us, and there are countless canyons inside. The 100 Spirits Ape should be hiding in one of the canyons. We will form an encirclement and advance towards the center step by step. If anyone has any doubts, please raise them immediately. Don't fight the 100 spirits ape alone. In less than an hour, they found another vast canyon under the white fog. After Xuanxin Yao transmitted her voice to everyone, they began to fly into the canyon in a straight line. Xuanxin Yao flew in the center, and no matter if it was the immortal or undying or indestructible disciples, they all revolved around her. The canyon was filled with people. There were all kinds of spirit trees and fruit trees in the canyon, and all of them had been plucked clean. It was obvious that they were either eaten by beasts or plundered by humans. Even if they found feces, they had to check it carefully. The canyons were connected to each other. Every disciple was in a dilemma of uneasiness and curiosity. They were afraid of the 100 spirits ape's sneak attack, but they also wanted to see the spirit beast. After a few days, they did not find any traces of the 100 spirits ape, but they did startle a few big goblin. Everyone, be careful. This area is very dangerous. There are many places that are formed by the merging of islands. Many experts have already entered to find the 100 spirits ape's cave. Be careful when you enter. Under Xuanxin Yao's lead, the canyon suddenly looked like it had collapsed. There were broken cliffs everywhere, and some abyss appeared on the ground or in the canyon. No one knew how they were formed. More than 30 people flew into the abyss in twos and threes. The abyss was like an underground forest, full of vitality. Boom! Not long after everyone entered, a huge earthquake suddenly came from underground. Someone has found the 100 spirits ape. It is indeed underground. Everyone immediately searched deeper. Xuanxin Yao transmitted her thoughts to everyone. Su Fang passed through the forest, and demonic aura could be felt everywhere. It seemed like this place was originally a demon's territory. Despicable celestial sealing sect. Don't move. As long as we don't provoke them, they won't attack us. Su Fang released his great circle abilities and dodged past the falling leaf. Suddenly, he heard someone speaking to his right. It seemed they were cultivators searching for treasures here. Boom! Just as they were about to leave, a huge explosion came from the source of those voices. Quite a bit of rubble flew out, causing layers of stone to fall off. Su Fang's figure flashed, and he saw a few immortal experts from the Celestial Sealing School surrounding and killing 3 rogue cultivators in the air. The rogue cultivators had thought that as long as they didn't provoke the Celestial Sealing Sect, everything would be peaceful. But the Celestial Sealing Sect wouldn't let them off. After killing the rogue cultivators, those disciples took all the treasures from the corpses. Only then did they leave in embarrassment. Weren't large sects the same? They all killed people for their treasures. Brat, this king sensed the 100 spirits ape's aura. It seems to be going berserk, said the Green Feather King. He had been absorbing natural energy in Xianhuang, so he could sense the movements of nature. Su Fang sped up in the direction the Green Feather King had pointed out. The others were also searching nearby. As they entered the depths of the forest, they really did hear some faint movement. Swish, swish. Several Celestial Sealing Sect disciples suddenly appeared in front of them. They were also looking for the 100 spirits ape. When they saw Su Fang, they were indifferent. They encountered quite a few Risk Sect disciples. The forest became even denser, and the terrain became even more complicated. Su Fang even sensed some demonic aura. He also found a cave where a Devil Dao expert had once cultivated. The 100 spirits ape was heavily injured and won't be able to escape. Even those Devil Dao experts and a few rogue cultivators want the 100 spirits ape. We have to be on guard against those people. Command the sect disciples here to decisively form a formation to kill any Yang Soul rogue cultivators or devils they see. Su Fang suddenly saw over 10 Yang Soul experts from the Celestial Sealing Sect fly past. They were looking for the 100 spirits ape. A few Undying Sect disciples also appeared. When they saw Su Fang, they had Su Fang cooperate with them. Su Fang used his power. As long as he heard any movements, he would carefully search for them. If he found the 100 Spirits ape and reported it to Xuanxin Yao, it would be considered a great contribution. At the very least, if he made a contribution, it would be easy for the Crown Prince faction to protect him. Chi in the air, when Su Fang flashed past, there was a strong wind that brought with it some cold qi. This cold qi came from one of the celestial sealing sect's 7 divine abilities, the Jade Sky Cold Mysterious Technique. He carefully listened in the direction of the gust and heard a slight vibration. It seemed that the celestial sealing sect's experts were fighting. Could it be that they were surrounding and killing the 100 Spirits ape? He quickly rode his sword against the gust and flew past several forests. Suddenly, a deep valley appeared in front of him. At the bottom of the valley, there was a very clear vibration. This forest was hidden, and there was also a deep valley. If he didn't have a mortal perception, it would be very difficult to find this place. When he arrived at the deep valley, he suddenly felt a strong demonic qi. Could it be that there were Devil Dao experts in this valley? Rumble. There was another violent vibration. Su Fang looked at the bottom of the valley from above. A large area of trees was sealed in ice. It was the cold qi from the Jade Sky Cold Mysterious Technique. In the depths of the cold qi was an ice mountain surrounded by raging flaming sword qi. The flaming sword qi was constantly attacking the ice mountain. 5 Yang Soul experts floated around it. 2 of them were Devil Dao experts. I wonder which Yang Soul disciple is so unlucky. Looking at this demonic qi, it should be an expert from the Celestial Sealing sect who accidentally entered this place and fell into the trap set up by the 5 experts. Seeing that the 2 sides were fighting and the ice mountain was melting, Su Fang hesitated on whether or not he should help. If he did, the opponents would be 5 Yang Soul expert. If he didn't, then one of the Celestial Sealing sect's experts would die. Furthermore, those who cultivated the Jade Sky Cold Mysterious Technique were usually women. I can't just watch them die. If I can help, I'll help. Thinking that it was a woman, Su Fang couldn't bear to see her die. He still decided to help. Daluo Heavenly Sword Qi. Taking advantage of the 2 experts not paying attention, he hid in the fog and took out the wind and fire dual spirit swords. He released a wave of sword qi at the 2 of them. Another Celestial Sealing sect disciple. As expected of a Yang Soul expert, not only did he react, he even used an attack to block the incoming sword qi. When the 5 experts saw the Daluo Heavenly Sword Qi, they knew it was a Celestial Sealing sect disciple. With the Longevity sect's cultivation base and the Wind and Fire dual spirit swords, they wouldn't be able to kill a Yang Soul expert. Su Fang raised his flying sword and said, "You ungrateful bastards dare to kill my Celestial Sealing sect's experts. I've already notified my sect's experts. They'll immediately come and take your heads. Are you from my Celestial Sealing sect?" The burning ice mountain suddenly trembled. There were actually 2 women inside. They were both at the Yang nascent realm, but they were at the low level. They clearly couldn't compare to the 5 high-level Yang nascent realm experts around them. Bang! Little did they know. At that moment, 2 figures suddenly flashed from behind Su Fang. Then, 2 terrifying Yang Soul realm auras pushed the space towards Su Fang. Not good. So it's not just 5 people. There are 2 Yang Soul experts. The flesh-body divine armor hastily protected his body, but it was still struck by the aura and sent flying toward the ice mountain. Haha, did you think we weren't on guard? We brothers have been secretly monitoring everything. You're just a Longevity sect disciple, yet you still dare to intimidate us. A Devil Dao expert smugly sized up Su Fang. The 2 experts flew over. Brothers, this Longevity sect kid isn't simple. He has a high-grade flying sword. Its quality is about the same as our treasures. We can't let them leave alive. The 7 experts once again surrounded Su Fang and the ice mountain. Suddenly, an ice woman appeared above the ice mountain. "Hey, why aren't you coming over?" "Yes, senior sister." This woman wasn't simple. She was able to use the jade sky cold mysterious technique to such an extent. She was able to perfectly fuse her will with her divine ability. Su Fong immediately flew over. The ice woman pulled Su Fong into the ice mountain. Two women appeared in front of him. They were both very young, in their early 20s. There was also a male disciple's corpse below them. It seemed to still be warm. The two women were wearing blue robes. They had beautiful shawls and carried a delicate fragrance. They were both outstanding beauties, but their auras weren't smooth at all. One of the women was slightly younger and had the aura of an expert. She sized up Su Fong and was somewhat disappointed. Sixth stage of the longevity sect. Don't even think about leaving this place today. 7 ferocious faces could be seen outside the ice mountain. Their figures were constantly changing. The woman beside her shifted her gaze away from Su Fong. "Sister, let's focus on defense. Luckily, we have treasures and some runes. We can hold on for a while. There's no other way now. We can only grit our teeth and persevere." The older woman glanced at Su Fong again before her gaze landed on the wind and fire dual spirit swords. "Although I can't count on you, fortunately, you have a high-grade Dharma treasure. You don't have to attack. Just release your true chi." The two women were obviously disappointed. They didn't expect an longevity sect weakling to come. Chapter 312. A longevity cultivator was not just a level lower than a Yang Soul cultivator. These two girls are not bad. After capturing them, we can play with them and sell them to the Twin Immortal Sect or the Supreme God Sect. I'm sure the price of the Celestial Sealing Sect's female disciples will be shocking. We can exchange them for a high-grade artifact. The iceberg shook. It turned out that the 7 experts were using their fire-type divine abilities to control the flames to burn the iceberg. Using fire to control the cold, it was a good idea. Golden core. The two girls sat cross-legged in the air, listening to the vulgar words of the experts outside. They were angry and angry. Most likely, all the energy except for their golden cores had been used up. The two girls had no choice but to directly activate their golden cores and release the abundant spiritual energy within. Su Fong stood below obediently and released the origin of the Celestial Sealing Sect in his body. He did not use any Yang Qi. Fusing the aura of the two girls' golden cores did not have much effect. It's better not to sell them to the Supreme God Sect. The Supreme God Sect is an evil sect. Capture the girls and play with them countless times, turning them into rotten goods. Then, sell them out of the Zhuotian realm to those barbaric powers or the devil sect. They will become men's playthings for the rest of their lives. After enduring for a while, the two girls' cultivation was also mental. Coupled with the Jade Sky Cold Mystic technique, they were able to contend against the 7 experts, and each of their cultivation was above theirs. These guys. Killing intent rose in their hearts. The experts outside deliberately raised their voices in order to break the two girls' mental defenses and attack their Tao hearts, causing them to lose their willpower. In this way, the iceberg would quickly disappear, and they would finally succeed. It would be fine if the Supreme God Sect did not mention it, but when these people mentioned it, it also stimulated the killing intent hidden in their bodies. He could not tolerate the 3 words Supreme God Sect. A devil sect expert shouted, "I heard that there are high-level experts in the evil sect who buy girls. Do you know how to use them? They cut a hole in the girl's stomach and implant small demons or refined evil fetuses into their bodies. They use their stomachs as tools to nurture the fetuses. The best way to grow up is to suck the host's blood dry step by step, eating the intestines and flesh to be born." PFFF. Unexpectedly, it was really effective. The slightly older girl's body trembled. Blood condensed on her face, and she continuously vomited blood. Buzz. The ice mountain shook violently again. Only the young woman was left to control the ice mountain with all her strength. The ice mountain that enveloped them began to melt layer by layer. If this continued for less than an hour, the ice mountain would be completely melted. The two women took out dozens of rune talismans, which were condensed using the blue sky cold mysterious technique. They also activated the two magic weapons hidden inside the iceberg, the Xian Guang. The rune talismans exploded, and the rolling cold air supported the iceberg, which was about to freeze. The House of Immortal Sealing is definitely a powerful organization. I can't believe you've managed to hold on for so long despite being surrounded by the seven of us. Unfortunately, you've wasted your efforts. If you give up now, we'll just take your treasures, and the 7 legendary divine abilities of the House of Immortal Sealing. That's right, we will keep our word. The 7 experts became earnest and well-intentioned again, advising him with kind words. Senior sister. With the support of the rune, the young woman immediately held the older woman's arm, her eyes trembling uneasily. Don't be afraid. I'm here. Someone will come to save us. There are so many disciples in this space. Someone will definitely discover us. The woman wiped the blood off and suddenly glared at Su Fang. It's all your fault, longevity disciple. I don't know if you brought your brain with you. You knew that 5 young soul experts were surrounding us, but you didn't ask for help from your fellow disciples. You foolishly rushed here and even asked us to take care of you. Senior sister, he doesn't know the situation either. The young woman advised. You don't know what to say for him. You're just a longevity disciple of the Ice Moon Cave Heaven. I don't know which sect master raised you to be such a brainless idiot. My cultivation is shallow. I can't see their strength at the longevity realm. I only saw 2 senior sisters fighting with the blue sky cold mysterious technique. I thought that by distracting them, senior sister would be able to escape. Su Fang was stunned and hurriedly explained. All the fault was poured on him. Was it wrong to save them? There's no other way now. Let's see if the senior sisters will use their great magic to find us after we haven't received any news for a long time. Damn it, we're in the extraterritorial land. The older woman closed her eyes slightly and took out a pure essence elixir that had reached the yang soul level and swallowed it. The young woman looked at Su Fang. I'm Xiang Ru. This is senior sister Yan Bixin. Don't mind them. No one would be in a good mood if they were trapped here. Su Fang listened obediently and didn't say anything. Xiang Ru continued. We were assigned to senior brother Qi Tianjin and were in charge of this experience with him. We didn't expect to be trapped here when we were chasing the 100 spirits ape. Don't worry, we won't die. You see, their cultivation is higher than ours and they have more people. Why haven't they broken the defense yet? We're disciples of the Celestial Sealing sect. They're just individual cultivators. Their magic weapons, qigong, mental cultivation methods, and imprints are far inferior to ours. Who's the sect master in charge of you? Yan Bixin suddenly stared at them. Senior sister Yan Kaifeng, Su Fang answered honestly. Senior sister Yan is so powerful. Why did she cultivate such an unenlightened disciple like you? Forget it. It's not easy for a longevity disciple like you to survive. Senior sister, although he's only in the 6th longevity realm, he's already a disciple of the immortal heaven. It seems that he's a disciple who's been prioritized by the frozen moon cave heaven for the past 100 years. So what if he's an important disciple? He's still not in the longevity realm. Apart from an upper-grade magic weapon, his strength is at most in the undead realm. Can he help us? Even if a group of undead realm cultivators come, they can't help us. They can't fight against a yang soul realm cultivator. Yan Bixin's face was unusually stern and angry. Lang at this moment, the ice mountain suddenly shook. The 3 of them looked up and saw 3 experts operating a large saber. They began to hack at the ice mountain again and again. Each time, a large piece of ice broke out. Damn it! Yen Bixin nodded at Xiang Ruru. The two women operated their golden cores again. A silver lotus fell from the ice above. It was a high-quality upper-grade magic weapon. It surpassed Su Fang's wind and fire dual spirit sword. We can't defend against the attack with the blue sky cold mystic technique alone. We have to activate the Saint Throne Snow Lotus. Fortunately, we obtained such an outstanding upper-grade magic weapon not long ago. Yen Bixin stroked the silver lotus a few times and activated the blue sky cold mystic technique with Xiang Ruru. A freezing cold air suddenly burst out. Su Fang's Taoist robe was instantly frozen. What a terrifying upper-grade magic weapon! The Saint Throne Snow Lotus floated high. The cold air it emitted instantly turned the ice mountain into a huge silver ice lotus. Magic weapons were very important to cultivators. The 7 experts suddenly controlled a strong demonic aura and directly oppressed the ice lotus snow mountain. These people have some tricks up their sleeves. They can jointly activate the mental cultivation method. 5 experts are helping 2 demonic experts to push their strength to the peak. The power of the demonic aura naturally restrains the aura of the righteous path. Su Fang's eyes darkened. It seemed that Xiang Ruru and Yen Bixin couldn't hold on for long even with the Saint Throne Snow Lotus. 30 minutes at most. The billowing demonic aura engulfed the ice mountain. The ice lotus shattered continuously. Looking from the bottom of the ice mountain, it was as if heaven and earth were about to be destroyed. The ice mountain was in a world of black demonic aura. Waves after waves of demonic aura were crashing into it. It was truly terrifying. Demonic path, oh demonic path! Yen Bixin's hands kept trembling, especially when she saw some fierce demonic aura corroding the ice mountain and drilling into it. Demonic attainment seal. In an instant, the 2 demonic experts outside shouted. The demonic aura that drilled into the ice lotus snow mountain suddenly merged and devoured each other. Bang! The entire ice mountain was enveloped by the demonic aura. Then, it was forcefully shattered. In an instant, half of the ice mountain disappeared. Countless demonic aura rushed over and shattered the rest of the ice mountain layer by layer. Cold air protection. Xiang Ruru trembled in fear. Yen Bixin gritted her teeth. Her eyes were slightly moist because she knew she couldn't hold on for much longer. The Saint Throne Snow Lotus once again exploded a high-grade magic artifact, the Xian Guang. A snow lotus Xian Guang surrounded the 3 of them to protect them. Yen Bixin made up her mind. Junior sister, prepare for the last fight. I'll activate the Saint Throne Snow Lotus with all my strength and make it explode. Then, you and I will abandon our physical bodies and escape with our young souls. Only then will we have a chance to survive. After our young souls escape, we can still be reborn. We can't die here like this. Abandon our physical bodies. These words sent Xiang Ruru completely to hell. As for you, longevity disciple. Yen Bixin looked at Su Fang. You did have good intentions, but you were too reckless. You can't save us. Instead, you'll lose your life. Don't blame us. I don't blame anyone. I have no resentment in my heart, Su Fang replied calmly. Her voice was colder than the surrounding cold air. You're indeed a talent. Unfortunately, fate doesn't favor you. Junior sister, you're starting to abandon your physical bodies. Yen Bixin suddenly revealed a fierce look. Wait! Su Fang waved her hand to stop the 2 girls when they were about to activate their life aura and leave their young souls. Yen Bixin shook her head. She had made up her mind. This is the only way. If Junior sister and I fall into their hands, we'll definitely suffer a fate worse than death. Bang! The combined power of the 7 experts transformed into a giant hand made of devil aura. It actually tore a hole in the defense formed by the Saint Throne Snow Lotus. The remaining devil aura was sucked in and rushed toward the 3 of them. Whoosh! In the time it takes for a spark to fly off a flint, Su Fang flew towards the shattered defense. Leaving our young souls. Yen Bixin and Xiang Ruru cried. Bang! The fierce devil aura that came in could even corrode a Yang soul expert. However, after Su Fang flashed out, she activated the flesh fetus divine armor and blocked the devil aura. Not only that, but the devil aura was also shocked. Senior sister, wait. Look. Below, Yen Bixin had closed her eyes and was burning with the flame of life. However, Xiang Ruru's eyes were still open. Perhaps she was unwilling to abandon her physical body and leave her Yang soul as a fleshless soul. She suddenly grabbed Yen Bixin excitedly. Seeing this, the latter also revealed a shocked and surprised smile. At this moment, Su Fang's body was extremely tall. He activated the flesh fetus divine armor and shook off the devil aura step by step. With every step, the devil aura was shaken back by a foot. At this moment, he was an invincible giant who was not afraid of the devil aura. He alone resisted the pressure left by the 7 experts. Is he in the immortality realm? Xiang Ruru fell into a dream. Yen Bixin was also intoxicated. I don't know either. How can a disciple in the immortality realm cultivate such a strong flesh fetus divine armor? Su Fang suddenly looked down and said, Senior sisters, please come and help us. With the strength of the 3 of us, we can definitely hold on for another hour. Every second we can hold on will give us more hope. We can't give up easily until the last moment. You only have one chance, one destiny, and one life. Yes, we are immortal existences who have cultivated for hundreds of years. Yen Bixin held Xiang Ruru and the 2 girls flew toward Su Fang decisively. An immortality realm disciple is not afraid of the devil aura? Right above the broken iceberg. The 2 devil aura experts who thought victory was in their hands were also shocked by Su Fang, who was suppressed by the devil aura when the 5 experts flew over to join them. You said it yourself. He's just an immortality realm disciple with a flesh fetus divine armor. He's a disciple of the celestial sealing sect. Big forces always have some shocking geniuses. Kill him. The experts would not be soft-hearted. There were only 2 choices here. You die. I live. Chapter 313. At this moment, Xiang Ruru and Yen Bixin came to Su Fang's side. Yen Bixin wiped her sweat and smiled. Junior brother, how should we address you? Fang Yu, disciple of the saintly celestial immortality from the Ice Moon Cave. He retreated a little. He was not afraid of the demonic aura, but he was worried that if he got too close to it, the demonic aura would suppress the 2 women. Yen Bixin suddenly wiped the sweat off Su Fang's face. Thank you, senior sister. It doesn't matter. What's important is that we can keep ourselves alive. He did not expect Yen Bixin to wipe his sweat for him. We can only defend and activate the Saint Throne Snow Lotus. Junior brother, I didn't know you had such strength. Just like you said, we have more hope. The Saint Throne Snow Lotus rose. Xiang Ruru looked at Su Fang. At this moment, Su Fang's appearance was the only thing that could be seen. Buzz. The 3 of them activated their vital qi. Yen Bixin and Xiang Ruru used the blue sky cold mystic technique to inject the Saint Throne Snow Lotus. Su Fang took out rune talismans that he had asked Mo Fengjun to refine. Each talisman had the power of a young infant. The surroundings froze again and gradually turned into a snow lotus ice mountain. Demonic palm seal. Terrifying demonic aura surged from above. The 5 experts used all their strength to activate the 2 demon Dao experts. The demonic aura turned into layers of huge black palm seals. Pa Paon demonic palm strike after another struck the snow lotus iceberg, creating a deafening rumble. The iceberg was much sturdier than the previous iceberg. Although the palm strike managed to break off some ice, it quickly condensed into ice again after it was broken. Xiang Ruru and Yen Bixin calmed down upon seeing this. The latter released her aura and shouted, "You evildoers, let's see who will have the last laugh." The two Demon Dao experts were so angry that they gritted their teeth. They condensed more demonic palm seals and hit the mountain one after another. You won't be happy for long. We just need to spend some time this time. The palm seals pressed down, shaking the Saint Throne Snow Lotus controlled by the two women. Fortunately, Su Fang took out a rune talisman from time to time and crushed it to release the power of a young infant. The two women then used it to activate the Saint Throne Snow Lotus. It looked like the three of them were about to be suppressed, but in reality, the three of them were still holding on, because they had powerful magical treasures, as well as powerful divine abilities that surpassed the 7 great experts. You attack and I defend for an hour. Buzz. Su Fang had been in the state of full circle when he suddenly sensed a trace of the immortal sealing sect's aura, indicating that there were disciples of the immortal sealing sect nearby. He secretly transmitted his voice. I don't know why, but Junior Brother feels as if there are disciples of our sect around. Senior Sister, why don't you try activating the token with all your might? That's right, we can't just give up. Yen Bixin and Xiang Ruru began to activate their tokens. After a few breaths of time, a woman's voice echoed through the valley. You dare to kill a disciple of the Immortal Bestowment School? There's hope. Xiang Ruru was overjoyed and hugged Yen Bixin. Crap. The experts from the Immortal Sealing School are here. Let's run. When the 7 masters on the iceberg heard this loud noise, they were really scared out of their wits. They left behind a large number of demonic palm prints and immediately fled towards the other end of the deep valley. A few fleas, icebound frost. The 7 of them had just flown 100 feet when the sea of trees above them started to freeze. It's a Yang Soul 10th stage powerhouse. The 7 masters were scared out of their wits. Buzz. A gust of wind swept across the deep valley, and the 7 people who were running for their lives suddenly stopped. It was as if the world was frozen at this moment. With a cracking sound, the 7 of them were instantly frozen in mid-air. The 7 of them were frozen in the ice, and their eyeballs were trembling. Soon, even their eyeballs were completely frozen. The 7 masters were almost instantly killed. We're saved. We're saved. Yen Bixin cried again, but this time she decisively wiped her tears clean. The ice-bound long river disappeared in front of the 2 figures, and a white-clothed woman and a man descended from the sky filled with demonic aura. Su Fang looked at the man and was very surprised. Qi Tianjin, Xiang Ruru and Yen Bixin looked at the white-clothed woman. It's Senior Martial Sister Lan. Why is she here? A woman who's even more illusory and powerful than Qi Tianjin. Such a powerful cultivation. Could it be that she's surpassed the Yang Soul realm? Su Fang was attracted to Senior Martial Sister Lan. Whether it was her purple color or her cultivation, she was better than Xiang Ruru and Yen Bixin. Even Yen Kaifeng was slightly inferior to her. Not only was she extraordinarily beautiful, but her figure was also outstanding. Her appearance was also like a fairy that had descended to the mortal world. Junior Martial Brother, you know Senior Martial Brother Qi Tianjin, but you definitely don't know Senior Martial Sister Lan. She surpassed the Yang Soul realm and is a member of the upper echelons. She's also an expert who follows Senior Martial Sister Huang. Her name is Haiqing, Xiang Ruru transmitted. Haiqing, Lan Haiqing, a female expert who surpassed the Yang Soul realm and stood among the upper echelons of the celestial sealing sect. Be careful, the demonic aura hasn't disappeared yet. Lan Haiqing slowly descended. He stared at the demonic aura above the Saint Throne Snow Lotus and flicked his finger. Buzz. A cold aura completely covered the demonic aura and turned it into ice. It moved away layer by layer and fell to the bottom of the valley. Yen Bixin and Xiang Ruru immediately suppressed their auras, and the Saint Throne Snow Lotus returned to Yen Bixin's palm. Qi Tianjin's gaze fell on Su Fang. She asked in surprise, Fang Yu, why are you here? Aren't you following Junior Martial Sister Xian? Su Fang saluted. I was following Senior Marshal Sister Xuanxin to find the 100 Spirits Ape, but I was incompetent and lost my way here. If it weren't for your protection, I would have died without a complete corpse. Lan Haiqing transmitted his voice secretly. Junior Marshal Brother Qi, you should immediately go find the 100 Spirits Ape. That beast is really dishonest. You should also be careful of a monster with an ape's body and a dog's head. That monster is very powerful and can appear and disappear unpredictably. It has killed many humans recently. I came here for the 100 Spirits Ape and also to kill that dog-headed monster. Senior Marshal Sister, thank you for coming to this space in time to help. He didn't expect that Qi Tianjin, who dominated thousands of people, would be so respectful in front of Lan Haiqing. He flashed and disappeared from the deep valley. Xiang Ruru and Yan Bixin bowed to Lan Haiqing and sighed sincerely. If Senior Marshal Sister hadn't come in time, we would have died here. The latter stared down. You were careless and thought that most of the people here were members of the Fragrant Jade Gang. You let down your vigilance and ended up harming yourselves. Look at that dead disciple. This time, it's all thanks to Junior Marshal Brother Fang. If Fang you hadn't come halfway to save us, we would have died here. Yan Bixin roughly described the whole process to Lan Haiqing. During the process, Lan Haiqing didn't care about a longevity disciple at first, and a man at that. But when he learned that Su Fang had sacrificed himself to save others and had amazing strength, he really looked at Su Fang seriously, which was a form of recognition. This is my duty as a disciple. But if it were a male disciple, I wouldn't have taken the risk, Su Fang said firmly. Fang Yu, I know you. Unexpectedly. The first sentence that the cold and arrogant Lan Haiqing said to Su Fang surprised Su Fang, Xiang Ruru and Yan Bixin. Lan Haiqing's cold eyes raised a touch of admiration. Although I know you, I've never seen you. I heard about the general process of the mission in the Heavenly Treasure Royal City from some higher-up. Today you saved Ruru and Bixin. I think you have a lot of fate with the Fragrant Jade Gang. Why don't you join the Fragrant Jade Gang? Join the Fragrant Jade Gang. Lan Haiqing was really unpredictable. He brought one surprise after another to Su Fang. Xiang Rur hurriedly reminded, there are very few people who join the Fragrant Jade Gang at the Longevity Realm. Junior Marshal Brother, this is a very rare opportunity. You should know the 3 major parties of the sect. Crown Prince Party, Fragrant Jade Party, Stone Saint Party. Who didn't know? Su Fang bowed to Lan Haiqing. Senior Marshal Sister, please let me think about it. My goal is to reach the undead realm. It's rare for me to have this experience in the extraterritorial land. I didn't expect you, a longevity disciple, to have such ideas. I'm not a person who forces people. Remember to reply to me in the future, or look for Ruru or Bixin. These are the 7 empty bags from killing those people. 3 of them are yours. Lan Haiqing was not angry. Instead, he smiled mysteriously. 7 empty bags appeared with a wave of his hand. He threw 3 to Su Fang and the other 4 to Xiang Ruru and Yan Bixin. Rest for a while and continue to look for the whereabouts of the 100 Spirits Ape. You also have to be careful of demons. Recently, there have been some unheard of demons appearing. I heard that they killed thousands of cultivators who entered the outer space of the Xianjia Gate. Whoosh! Like a shadow, Lan Haiqing disappeared into thin air. There was no aura or trace. Why didn't you agree on the spot? You missed this opportunity. Didn't you want to join the Crown Prince Party or the Stone Saint Party? The 3 of them flew out of the deep valley and sat cross-legged in a forest not far away. Yan Bixin transmitted her voice to Su Fang. She was full of dissatisfaction. It was obvious that she hoped Su Fang would join the Fragrant Jade Party. I don't want to think about this for now. Thank you for your concern, Senior Marshal Sister. He sucked the 3 empty bags into his palm and slowly absorbed the complex energy. The energy in his body increased again. Ruru, what do you think Fong Yu is thinking? He was personally invited by Senior Marshal Sister Lan. How many people can receive such treatment? Everyone has their own aspirations. Moreover, I found that Fong Yu had a kind of unwavering spirit when facing the pressure of life and death before. I always feel that this person is unfathomable. Especially when Senior Marshal Sister knows that he is a longevity disciple, it's even more inexplicable. Well, he didn't refuse directly. Yan Bixin and Xiang Ruru were whispering 100 meters away. Of course, all of this could not escape Su Fang's ears. The fragrant jade party was indeed good and had Huang Lingyao's protection. It also had deep roots in the sect. However, this was not the time yet. Most importantly, he had to rely on himself to become strong and not be blindly protected by external forces. Several days passed. Senior Marshal Sister Yen, Senior Marshal Sister Xiang, we are following Senior Marshal Brother Qi's order to join you and search for the 100 Spirits Ape. A gust of wind came from the direction of the deep valley. Yan Bixin and Xiang Ruru flew out of the forest with Su Fang and immediately met a dozen immortal sect disciples. Everyone followed the two young soul experts and entered the forest to search for the 100 Spirits Ape. Everyone, spread out and search. There are several forests here. At this moment, everyone stopped in midair and Yan Bixin asked them to spread out. The disciples of the Celestial Sealing Sect scattered in 2s and 3s. Yan Bixin and Xiang Ruru each flew into a forest. When Su Fang arrived at an ordinary forest, an immortal sect disciple flew over from behind and waved enthusiastically. Junior Marshal Brother, I don't know what dangers lie ahead in the forest. Just follow me. Thank you, Senior Marshal Brother. Su Fang did not know this person, but he could not refuse, so he cupped his fists and agreed. The latter was flying over quickly. When Su Fang put down his hands, he landed on the ground and suddenly attacked Su Fang's chest with his palm. Bang! Su Fang was sent flying backward and completely lost his center of gravity. Meanwhile, a palm-sized crack appeared on the flesh fetus divine armor on his chest. Behind the crack was Su Fang's skin, and it actually left behind a ghastly wound. Fresh blood flowed out and flowers of blood spurted out continuously. Everything happened too quickly, too suddenly. A disciple that he didn't know had actually been ambushed and injured so severely in a normal encounter. Chapter 3:14. Fortunately, I have been activating the flesh fetus divine armor. Otherwise, I would have died in his hands. Su Fang almost fell to the ground. Subduing dragon wood and 9 yang true qi burst out. His perfect physical body displayed an astonishing recovery ability. The man summoned a large halberd. The sharp edge of the halberd blocked Su Fang's path of retreat. The flesh fetus divine armor is indeed worthy of its reputation. I didn't believe it at first when I heard that an immortal disciple like you had the flesh fetus divine armor. Su Fang could feel his wounds slowly healing. Seeing the man coming, he shouted weakly, "Why do you want to kill me? We have no enmity." I accidentally heard that the Crown Prince Society wanted to kill you, so I wanted to kill you and use your head to claim credit from the Crown Prince Society. Then, I could join the Crown Prince Society and work for Prince Shui. If he becomes the new leader in the future, I will also have a meteoric rise. Even if he can't become the leader, he will be someone like the Great Elder in the future. I see. I'm afraid your wish won't come true. Why? Asked the man disdainfully. Do you think you're still alive? I heard that the entire Crown Prince faction is looking for you in the foreign lands. I'm curious how you managed to survive. You're just a Celestial Layer 6 disciple, and you're just relying on your flesh embryo divine armor and a high-grade enchanted item. Even if you have the strength of an immortal, you can't fight against immortal. In the end, strength will determine whether you live or die. And after you die, everything you have will be mine. How laughable! I'm talking nonsense with you at this time. Whoosh! The man suddenly jumped up and waved the halberd with both hands. A peak mid-grade artifact, coupled with the cultivation of the immortal stage, released an aura close to the peak. Chi. Little did he know that Su Fong flashed, and a shadow appeared on the spot. The shadow casually waved his hand at the man. In an instant, fresh blood spurted out, and the head separated from the body in midair. When his head fell, his eyes shuddered and trembled. In the end, fear caused his pupils to shrink. Mo Fengjun turned from a shadow to a real person. Master! I'm fine. Although my injuries are serious, my physical body has reached the Great Circle. My recovery ability is 10 times that of an ordinary person. It won't take long for me to recover. He called Mo Fengjun back to Mysterious Yellow, and in the blink of an eye, Gue rushed out. She sensed the demonic energy and her tender white face twisted with a smile. Her eyeballs were about to pop out. She grabbed the corpse and absorbed the blood. After several breaths of time, the corpse became a headless corpse. After taking the empty pouch and magic weapons, Su Fong and Gue entered the depths of the forest. He found a quiet place and condensed the flesh fetus divine armor again. His wounds had already partially healed during this period of time. Who would have thought that my situation in the celestial sealing gate would be like this? Everyone could be a threat to me. After a few days, his injuries were more or less healed. Just as he flew out of the forest, he suddenly felt a wave of seismic force extending towards him. All disciples, heed my orders. Come and suppress the 100 spirits ape. Qi Tianjin's command medallion also reacted. She issued an order. So it was the 100 spirits ape. This time, it would be difficult for this spirit beast to escape. After several breaths of time, they arrived at a spacious forest. Several hundred disciples of the celestial sealing gate surrounded them. The other disciples flew over one after another, each of them condensing runes. Su Fong arrived at the group and saw a 30-meter-tall white-furred ape in the center. It was currently being surrounded by more than 100 Yang soul experts. Qi Tianjin was leading everyone, including Xiang Ruru and Yan Bixin. Rumble, the white-furred ape should be the 100 spirits ape. It was indeed different from an ordinary big goblin. It didn't have much demonic qi. Instead, it emitted natural spiritual energy. The 100 spirits ape's strength was shocking. Facing the encirclement of more than 100 Yang soul experts, it relied on its physical advantage to charge forward. It shook off layers of runes and shattered a large number of runes in an instant. This 100 spirits ape's strength should have reached the peak of the Yang soul realm, or even surpassed it. Demonic beasts were innately strong, and the 100 spirits ape was the same. It could crush any rune with a slap, and the spirit flame it spat out could also incinerate runes. The internal battle was too fierce, and the 1,000 disciples outside were all trembling with fear. Listen to my orders and use runes. Don't waste runes. Qi Tianjin issued an order to all the disciples. The 1,000 disciples immediately grabbed a large number of runes. Each rune contained the aura of the Daluo Heaven Sword Qi, the Blue Sky Cold Mystic Art, Little Yellow Sky God Righteous Force, and the Heavenly Dragon Divine Claw. Everyone's heart was either beating fast or sweating. The Celestial Sealing Sect wants to suppress this king. The 100 spirits ape's roar suddenly resounded in the forest. Whoosh! The trapped 100 spirits ape's flames became more and more intense, burning more runes and dissolving the encirclement of more than 100 Yang soul experts. Fortunately, the Yang soul experts had prepared a large number of runes beforehand. After burning one rune, they grabbed another one. Their combined strength was also very terrifying. Consumption. Qi Tianjin was indeed someone who Huang Lingyao had entrusted with a heavy responsibility. He calmly ordered everyone to activate the runes and didn't let the 1,000 disciples outside join in. The 100 spirits ape was now in its strongest state. One-on-one, they were no match for it. In addition, the 100 Spirits ape had been injured before. As long as it was exhausted, it would be suppressed sooner or later. Boom! The 100 Spirits ape was not an ordinary demon beast, but a spirit beast. Not only were spirit beasts stronger than most demons, but their intelligence and awareness were also similar to humans. From afar, the 100 Spirits ape spat out a ball of spirit flame. Su Fang was attracted by the spirit flame. Fire attribute spirit treasure. Green Feather Monarch secretly replied, "It really is a fire attribute spirit treasure. The 100 Spirits ape is not an ordinary demon beast, and it's not weak either." The Celestial Sealing Sect definitely didn't know that the 100 Spirits ape had a fire attribute spirit treasure. If they did, they wouldn't have sent a group of Yang Soul experts to suppress it. Everyone back off. The 100 Spirits ape held the ball of spirit flame in its mouth and instantly spat out a blazing flame that burned the air. Qi Tianjin hastily gave the order. Unfortunately, more than a dozen Yang Soul stage cultivators were instantly engulfed by the spirit fire and turned into ashes in the blink of an eye. Daluo Heavenly Sword Qi. The other Yang Soul disciples were scared out of their wit. As they retreated, they each threw out a rune talisman. Qi Tianjin floated up and formed a hand seal. 100 rune talismans instantly floated above the 100 Spirits ape. With a rumble, the rune talismans spat out countless cutting sword qi, instantly enveloping the 100 Spirits ape. The spirit beast was unable to digest the power of over 100 Yang Soul experts. The sword qi heavily injured the 100 Spirits ape, but it was only external injuries. The 100 Spirits ape tore apart the sword qi and spat out spirit flame at the Celestial Sealing Sect disciples. The spirit flame in its mouth was not simple. It seemed to have an endless amount of flame. Rune talismans. Qi Tianjin gave another order. Over 100 Yang Soul disciples retreated several dozen meters. Only a portion of them threw out rune talismans containing the Jade Firmament Ice mysterious art. Those rune talismans condensed together, and the 100 Spirits ape charged over. It looked like it wanted to escape, but Qi Tianjin could not let it leave. Those cold Qi rune talismans instantly turned into an ice mountain and fiercely struck the 100 Spirits ape. Then they turned into ice chains and bound it. The 100 Spirits ape roared, and the 100 Spirits ape's body burned with flame. Its body forcibly shattered the ice and furiously walked out of the ice. Bang! Once again, it proved that 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. The 100 Spirits ape had just struggled out of the ice shackles, but before it could react, a claw that was tens of thousands of meters long slapped it to the ground and blasted a big hole. Heavenly Dragon Divine Claw. The power of the Divine Claw scratched the 100 Spirits ape and then sealed it in the palm. The attack of the Heavenly Dragon Divine Claw was extremely terrifying. If the 100 Spirits ape was hit and caught in the palm, it would immediately be killed by the claw. Among the hundreds of Yang Soul experts around, many of them threw out rune talismans containing the Heavenly Dragon Divine Claw's aura under Qi Tianjin's order. Those rune talismans instantly turned into a big golden hand under Qi Tianjin's hand seal. Burn! If this big hand caught the 100 Spirits ape again, it would really be suppressed. The 100 Spirits ape was very clear about this. Its body began to burn, and the power of the flames burned the claw that was holding it until it exploded. Then, the 100 Spirits ape opened its mouth and used its sharp teeth to bite the big claw. With a swish, a part of the big claw shattered, and the 100 Spirits ape struggled to free itself. It raised its head and spat out spiritual fire, burning the Heavenly Dragon Divine Claw that was about to fall down. Su Fang, like the disciples around, saw such a large-scale scene for the first time. He sighed in his heart. The 100 Spirits ape is too strong. The Celestial Sealing Sect can't take it down with so many powerful divine skills. It must have been a shocking scene when the Celestial Sealing Sect suppressed the Green Feather King. Rune talismans. Qi Tianjin, who was floating at the top, shouted again when the two heavenly dragon divine claws failed to take down the 100 spirits ape. Goldie's divine cosmic force. Dozens of rune talismans flew out. Many disciples could see what kind of divine skill those rune talismans were. It was one of the 7 divine skills, Goldie's divine cosmic force. Giant Cauldron Demon Lock. Before the power of the second heavenly dragon divine claw disappeared completely, Qi Tianjin shook and made a seal in the air. Dozens of rune talismans condensed around the 100 spirits ape and broke instantly. Rustle! Rustle! A golden Xian Guang suddenly pounced on the 100 spirits ape. The golden Xian Guang transformed into a huge golden cauldron. Yes, it was a huge cauldron. The huge cauldron was not an alchemy cauldron. Under the suppression of the heavenly dragon divine claw's power, the huge cauldron Xian Guang enveloped the 100 spirits ape and locked it in a huge cage. The alchemy cauldron had many true runes, which were the mantras of the Goldie's divine cosmic force. These runes turned into chains of true runes, which shot out from the huge cauldron and bound the 100 spirits ape's hands, legs, and head. Pa! Pa! The 100 spirits ape grabbed the true rune chains with all its might and smashed them with its palms. Its movements were like chopping firewood, breaking the true rune chains. Throw out the rune talismans! Qi Tianjin ordered again. The young nascent realm disciples threw out the Daluo Heaven Sword Qi. In the Celestial Sealing Sect, only the Daluo Heaven Sword Qi was a divine skill that every disciple had mastered. Sword kill! Qi Tianjin slashed out with her palms, and the runes turned into sword Qi. Taking advantage of Goldie's divine cosmic force, she wanted to heavily injure the 100 spirits ape. The 100 spirits ape felt the sword Qi descending, but it was unable to use its full strength like before. As a result, the sword Qi left behind countless wounds on its body. No matter how strong the 100 spirits ape is, it can't fight so many humans. Plus, the Celestial Sealing Sect's disciples are all prepared. At this moment, the 100 spirits ape's fate was sealed. Su Fang shook his head. Boom! But for some unknown reason, just as everyone breathed a sigh of relief, the 100 spirits ape's body suddenly expanded by 10 times. It was this expansion that actually shattered Goldie's divine cosmic force cauldron. At the same time, Qi Tianjin coughed up blood, and over 100 young nascent realm experts retreated several steps. Qi Tianjin was dumbfounded. The 100 spirits ape was much stronger than they had expected. Bastard, I didn't kill you because I gave you a chance. How dare you injure our sect's disciples? While everyone was shocked, uneasy, and terrified, a domineering woman's voice descended from the sky. Chapter 3:15. A white figure flashed through the spiritual fog like a graceful swan. Our sex expert is here. The disciples couldn't help cheering. Senior Apprentice Sister Lan. Qi Tianjin was panting as she approached the white figure. The white figure flashed, then stopped. It was Lan Haiqing. She signaled for Qi Tianjin to stay away, then used the ruler's divine steps to appear in front of the 100 spirits ape. I won't kill you because you're a spirit beast. Do you think the immortal sealing sect won't kill you? Strong, powerful. At this moment, many disciples would never forget the fairy-like Lan Haiqing, who was both powerful and beautiful. Humans aren't good, and the immortal sealing sect is the same. You want to suppress this king? This king won't give up. Raged the 100 spirits ape. Ayo! It let out a roar and spat out a spirit flame that could incinerate everything. You are indeed powerful with a fire attribute spirit treasure, but you are still different from humans. I am Lan Haiqing, an ordinary disciple of the immortal sealing sect. Today, I will personally suppress you and let you experience the might of the immortal sealing sect. Lan Haiqing didn't even take a step back. She clapped her hands, and the aura of the jade sky cold mysterious art that countless disciples were familiar with appeared. Cold chi filled the air in front of her. 2-2. The spirit flame struck the cold chi, pushing it forward. As the 100 spirits ape advanced, the cold chi was compressed. Divine power. Innate divine power. Lan Haiqing, on the other hand, was only a weak woman. She was so weak that she could not even stand a gust of wind. However, under the pressure of the enormous and imposing 100 spirits ape, she was forced to retreat. Many disciples felt their hearts turn cold. Lan Haiqing was so powerful, but she was still not a match for the 100 spirits ape? No. Lan Haiqing suddenly flipped her hand and the cold chi increased. Crack! The cold air instantly began to freeze, turning into ice. As for the oncoming flames, they were actually frozen inch by this cold air. Clang, clang. The 100 spirits ape blasted out a palm from the spiritual fire. The power of this palm was truly terrifying. The combination of divine power and spiritual fire shattered the ice that was coming at it. The ape then grabbed at Blue Sea City behind it. Lan Haiqing, who was as cold as ice, frowned. The cold air turned into a spiral and wrapped around the 100 spirits ape's arm like a belt of ice. Her every move revealed a unique tranquility and elegance. Impressive, truly impressive. So this is the power of a nascent soul realm cultivator. If Qi Tianjin were to fight the 100 spirits ape one-on-one, she wouldn't have had such an easy time. She would have definitely been suppressed. Lan Haiqing drew a perfect arc with his hands. Absolute Ice Seal, 100 spirits ape, your time limit is up. Whoosh. The frigid air increased tenfold and quickly swept towards the 100 spirits ape from the surroundings of Blue Sea City. The frigid air was too powerful, and everywhere it touched was covered in ice. The area around the 100 spirits ape was frozen. The 100 spirits ape hurriedly resisted, but when it moved its body, it rubbed against the ice and collided with it. Its movements were completely restricted. The freezing power continued to rush towards him. Since the 100 spirits ape was extremely unwilling, the cold air actually froze his arms and body. The 100 spirits ape's divine power shattered a lot of ice. Then it ignited its spirit flame and smashed the ice powder with its fists. The 100 spirits ape is powerful, but Lan Haiqing is too strong. This time, the 100 spirits ape is really finished. Su Fang secretly cheered. He had seen how powerful the spirit beast was, and how powerful the blue sky cold mysterious art was in the hands of a true expert. The 100 spirits ape was about to be frozen by Lan Haiqing. The ground below was shaking strangely. Only Lan Haiqing could sense it. Then Qi Tianjin realized something was wrong, and so did the other Yang Soul Realm expert. Boom! Suddenly, a large amount of rubble burst out of the ground. A demon figure jumped up from below, and its target was Lan Haiqing. Crackle! The cold qi blocked the demon qi, and the demon figure flashed behind. Careful, retreat. Although Lan Haiqing didn't move, she seemed to know something terrifying had appeared. Qi the demon figure moved at a speed similar to teleportation talismans. It appeared around some Yang Soul Realm disciples, revealing an ape's body and a dog's head. The ape dog with a swipe of its sharp claws, it flashed past a few Yang Soul disciples, who were instantly crushed like watermelons. The ape dog has appeared. Why did it suddenly appear here? The outer disciples didn't know what had happened. They only knew that a demon had appeared. Su Fang, with his perfect vision, saw the ape dog attacking the Yang Soul Realm disciples. Could it be that the 100 spirits ape is from the ape race, and the ape dog is related to it? He thought to himself and immediately retreated. The ape dog's speed was too terrifying. Facing the ape dog, they could only be attacked. Qi Tianjin waved his arm, and the Yang Soul Realm experts surrounded it. Monster, don't be impudent in front of me. In less than 3 breaths, the ape dog had killed more than 10 Yang Soul Realm disciples. No one could do anything to it. Lan Haiqing also appeared at a shocking speed. He used the blue sky cold mysterious art, and a large amount of cold chi swept through the sky. As expected, the ape dog saw Lan Haiqing as its only target. Rumble. Behind them there was another collapse. The ice that had imprisoned the 100 spirits ape had been broken. It regained its freedom and charged at Lan Haiqing with resentment. Qi Tianjin led all the Yang Soul Realm experts, who were still in shock. Senior apprentice sister, we'll hold back the 100 spirits ape. You deal with the dog-headed monster. The dog-headed monster is the existence that has killed countless cultivators in the past few years. Lan Haiqing used cold chi to fight the ape dog. One was a human powerhouse, while the other was an ordinary mutated beast. Little Yellow's divine astral energy. Qi Tianjin once again had all the Yang Soul Realm disciples use their talismans. This time, it wasn't just one talisman, but several. After they exploded, a large Xian Guang suppressed the 100 spirits ape. The 100 spirits ape had been suppressed last time, but this time, it knew how to react. It didn't dodge quickly, it spat out spirit flames to attack, or it used its huge strength to shatter all kinds of attack. However, it was unable to deal with Lan Haiqing. The ape dog stared at Lan Haiqing with curiosity. It didn't know how much intelligence this ancient mutated beast had, but it should be instinctive to kill. Seal the cold chi. Today, I will eliminate this evil for the human race. Lan Haiqing attacked, and a large amount of cold chi surrounded the ape dog from all directions. Pa. Not only was the ape dog fast, but its body was also incomparably tough. Its claws were also sharp, and it tore all the cold chi apart. All disciples, listen up. Prepare your talismans. In the end, we will need everyone's strength to suppress these two monsters. Qi Tianjin released her will, and the thousands of disciples outside took out more talismans and waited. Some took out their Dharma treasures, but they were all anxious. Bang! Bang! The ape dog knew that Lan Haiqing was very strong, so it tore apart the cold chi first. Then, it used its speed advantage to shatter the other cold chi. Hua! Chains condensed from the cold chi and chased after the ape dog. Lan Haiqing used even more cold chi to slow down the ape dog's release speed. Ruler's Divine Steps. Lan Haiqing also used the true ruler's divine step. The ruler's divine steps was not a simple step technique. The cold chi covered a large area of the sky, covering an area of a few kilometers. In this space, the ape dog was using shattering chi to dodge the chain attack. Lan Haiqing suddenly moved, and she also used teleportation to kill the ape dog from the cold chi. When she appeared, a Daluo Heaven sword light pierced towards the ape dog. Cha! The ape dog actually opened its mouth and bit the Daluo Heaven sword light, and it tore it apart. It then broke free from Lan Haiqing's hands. What kind of monster is it? It doesn't look strong, but why is its strength so strange? Lan Haiqing retreated a few steps, and this time, she was stunned for a few seconds. Rustle! The ape dog's teeth protruded, and its body was like a phantom. It shook the cold chi space, and cracks appeared. The ape dog seemed to know that Lan Haiqing was powerful, so it did not approach easily. Now that the cold chi was everywhere, Lan Haiqing could increase her speed to the extreme. She used the Daluo Heaven sword light, and fused it with the Jade Sky cold mystic art. A large amount of sword chi was like ice and snow, descending in the cold chi space. Junior brothers, release your talismans. At this moment, Qi Tianjin and nearly 100 Yang Soul experts were currently trapping the 100 Spirits Ape. The 100 Spirits Ape's demonic Qi had been exhausted. This was a good opportunity and also the most appropriate one. She immediately gave the order to the surrounding disciples. Whoosh! Countless talismans flew out from all directions. Heavenly Dragon Divine Claw. After absorbing over 1,000 talismans, Qi Tianjin formed a hand seal, and a Heavenly Dragon Divine Claw appeared in the air. While Goldie's Empyrean Divine Astral Energy was trapping the 100 Spirits Ape, a Thunder Claw descended. Daluo Heaven's Sword formation. Another 1,000 talismans were absorbed. This was equivalent to fusing all their power together. After a large amount of talismans shattered, countless strands of sword chi formed a sword domain that enveloped the 100 spirits ape. Seal. Qi Tianjin's hands slowly grasped the air, and the heavenly dragon claw that was pressing down on the 100 spirits ape also grabbed it. The 100 spirits ape struggled madly, but this time, it was the combined power of all the disciples of the celestial sealing sect. Even if it wanted to struggle, it wouldn't have much of an effect. The heavenly dragon divine claw clawed at it until it spat out blood. It was roaring furiously. Its nostrils and ears were spewing flames, and blood was spurting out. Hiss! The ape let out a strange cry from within the frozen space. At this time, Lan Haiqing's attacks were still chasing it. The ape suddenly broke through the layer of ice chi and charged towards the ground. Flee! Today I'll kill you, you bastard! Lan Haiqing controlled the wind and snow, and countless strands of sword chi shot towards the ground. Qi Tianjin shouted, "Senior sister, don't chase after that monster." Lan Haiqing immediately stopped and calmed down. That's right. I can't chase after this monster. It's so fast. Even if I catch it, I might not be able to kill it. Whoosh, whoosh. The other disciples approached the center. Lan Haiqing withdrew his ice chi and arrived in front of the 100 spirits ape. That monster is here to save you. It can't save you. In the future, work hard for the immortal sealing sect. 10,000 God seal. Lan Haiqing raised his hands, and countless profound hand seals appeared in front of the disciples. Then, one seal after another flew into the heavenly dragon divine claw and into the 100 spirits ape's body. Gradually, it formed a seal that looked like armor. Soul seal. He clasped his hands together. The 100 spirits ape's eyes were filled with fear. It lowered its head and immediately stopped moving. It was obvious that it had fallen asleep. That was why the disciples finally calmed down. Qi Tianjin sealed her aura and followed the Yang Soul disciples to Lan Haiqing's side. Fortunately, this spirit beast hasn't reached the point where we can't fight it. Otherwise, with just our strength and manpower, we wouldn't have been able to suppress it. Take that dog-headed monster for example. Even with so many of us, I'm afraid we still wouldn't have been able to subdue it. Lan Haiqing took out an empty bag and used the illusion cloud rope to bind the 100 spirits ape. Just like that, a spirit beast had been suppressed. If the 100 spirits ape had truly known how strong the immortal sealing sect was, it would have definitely left. Chapter 316. Fang Yu. Qi Tianjin led most of the Yang Soul disciples to meet Lan Haiqing. She seemed to have something to tell him. Xiang Ruru and Yan Bixin, on the other hand, were looking for Su Fang under the watchful eyes of many immortal and indestructible disciples. Why did two Yang Soul giants come to meet an ordinary disciple alone? The three of them left the crowd. Yan Bixin said from the bottom of her heart, "We are going to leave here to meet other sisters. Have you thought it through? If you have, promise us that you will join the fragrant jade party." "I still need to think about it." Su Fang was actually reluctant to refuse. He knew that Yan Bixin was sincerely inviting him. "Okay, but remember to contact us if you need anything. Also, take care of yourself. There is still a long time before the trial ends. We Yang Soul disciples don't dare to be careless after witnessing the monster's means. Junior brother, we will take our leave first." Xiang Ruru and Yan Bixin left with disappointment. After watching the two leave, Qi Tianjin also ordered everyone to rest in this forest. After they recovered, they could continue to cultivate in this boundary space. Su Fang left the forest alone and continued to head deeper into the forest. He hoped that he would have the opportunity to obtain more treasures, such as the spirit vein. Buzz. After half a day, he came to a deep place. It was a huge mountain shrouded in fog. When he came to the forest, he saw some spirit fruit. However, there was a sudden movement in his right arm. He was very curious. Was there any treasure here? This was because the movement came from the purple aura dharma spirit. Every time the purple aura dharma spirit reacted, it was because it sensed a treasure. Su Fang immediately guided the purple aura dharma spirit to find the treasure. He found that as long as he deviated from the central direction, the feeling would disappear. He carefully moved forward, carefully looking at the surroundings every time he moved forward. He searched 100 meters in the depths of the mountain, but he didn't find any treasure. The purple aura dharma spirit only moved slightly. If he didn't have the perception of a peak, he wouldn't be able to find it. He thought the treasure was in the mountain, but the purple aura dharma spirit suddenly stopped responding. "Senior, why is there no treasure this time?" Looking around, he was very disappointed and puzzled. His expectations were ruthlessly shattered. This is the first time this king has come into contact with a treasure like the purple aura dharma spirit. He has lived for 20,000 years and has never seen such a treasure. In other words, the Green Feather King didn't have an answer. This was the first time he had found nothing. "Master." At this time, Xian Huang spoke in the depths of Su Fang's mind. "Is it?" Su Fang and Green Feather King were both looking forward to it. "I haven't completely fused with the purple aura dharma spirit yet, but it can sense something from me." The commotion from before was very calm, unlike the violent and sudden reactions from treasures in the past. "Master, do you think it might have sensed the third part of the dharma spirit?" "Very likely." Green Feather King clapped his hands excitedly. Su Fang sucked in a breath of cold air. Yes, that's right. The scale of this experiential learning is astonishing. Since the 3 disciples have come, the Celestial Sealing School must have a peerless expert secretly overseeing it. The expert who obtained the purple Qi Dharma spirit must be in the depths of the space. Xian Huang, you've done well. Hee. A perfect fusion of the purple Qi Law spirit is the same as me fusing with my master. Mysterious Yellow innocently laughed. "Let's go, I'm going to take a look. I must find out who has the purple Qi Law spirit." Unable to calm down, he immediately flew out of the mountain and into the depths of the spirit fog world. While flying, he carefully urged the purple Qi Law spirit, letting Mysterious Yellow cooperate with him to sense the third part of the purple Qi Law spirit. Su Fang was also considerate. The person who possessed the purple Qi Law spirit must be a peerless expert who must have passed through Blue Sea City. So he had to be more careful to hide the purple Qi Law spirit's aura, otherwise it would be sensed by the other party. This is 3 days. Su Fang was currently in the middle of the spirit fog. In front of him was a wonderful door. This door was not simple. It emitted an aura that was not common in the celestial boundary. Green Feather King slowly said, "Behind this door is the entrance to the Xianjia Gate. You can enter this door and go to the space where the entrance is, but don't enter the door. With your cultivation, you won't be able to come out." Su Fang exclaimed, "So this door is the passage to the outside world. I didn't find anything along the way, so there's only one possibility. The person with the purple Qi Law spirit should be behind the door or in some other outside world." Without hesitation, he flew toward the door. Entering the door, he felt that all auras had weight. When the door's power sent him out, he was on the ground. In front of him was a world full of spirit fog. It was very vast, as if he had returned to the embrace of nature. Green Feather King reminded him, "There's still a long way to go from here to the entrance, and it's also very dangerous here. Almost all of them are Yang Soul powerhouses, and there are very few imperishable realm cultivators. Will the Xianjia Gate sweep out the air currents of the Great World? These air currents will bring out some treasures and materials." Buzz. Suddenly, there was movement in his right arm. "The purple Qi Law spirit, Master, it should be the last part of the purple Qi Law spirit." Mysterious Yellow also seemed excited and curious. In order to avoid being ambushed by experts, Su Fong decided not to hide his identity. He would go as a disciple of the Celestial Sealing Sect. It would be easier for him to be protected by the sect's experts. Not long after he flew, he encountered countless boulders. The boulders were like giants guarding this world. They were too tall to be seen with the naked eye. When he passed by the boulders, he felt like he would be crushed by the boulders. After a while, he flew out of the boulder forest, and when he left the boulder forest, he saw a mountain range that was connected together. They quietly stood on the ground, enjoying the baptism of the Xianjia Gate's high-level energy. In the end, they would give birth to treasures that contained high-level energy. Woo-woo! Ahead came the horrified and uneasy cries of demons. After listening carefully, there were quite a few powerful demons, and after a few breaths, they hurriedly ran from the fog above. They wanted to leave the Xianjia Gate. "Kid, get down!" Green Feather King suddenly shouted. "Kid, you didn't look at the almanac when you went out. Damn it, why did you encounter the Xianjia Gate's chi flow as soon as you came here?" Su Fong landed on the ground and quickly hid behind a boulder. Why would the Xianjia Gate's chi flow be a disaster? The Xianjia Gate's chi flow is a Dao tool. The Xianjia Gate is a Dao item. Think about how powerful a Dao item's aura is. The chi it shoots out can easily kill any Yang Soul cultivator. But that doesn't matter. As long as you hide first, you'll be fine. Then you can quickly search for treasures. Perhaps the chi it shoots out this time contains a true treasure from the Xianjia Gate. No one knows. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't even a fart. But what if there is? What if you obtain it? What kind of logic was this? He never expected that Green Feather King would sometimes leave it to fate. The great big goblin came here, but in front of the Xianjia Gate, he was still a lowly existence. Hua hua! After a while, there were still some demons running away in a hurry. The ground began to shake and the fog was also torn apart. When he looked up, it seemed like the flying immortal island was angry. The nearby cliffs were shaking, and large amounts of rocks were falling off. Clang! Su Fong felt that the surrounding mountains, and trees seemed to be on a dustpan. The dustpan was shaking under a huge force. It seemed like the earth, mountains, and any matter, including Su Fong, would fall into the endless abyss at any time. The falling rocks around him were even more terrifying. The cliff was almost one-sided, covering the nearby valley. Whoosh! 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 Looking up, in the depths of the Xianjia Gate, the air was in a distorted state. Then, a vast aura rushed out, tearing the spirit fog high in the sky into two. This chi flow continued to rush towards him. Su Fong was so scared that he quickly lowered his head. This chi flow could even tear space. How powerful was it? Whoosh! Whoosh! With just a glance, the world was in the midst of flying sand and rolling stones. The flying stones and sand were turned into dust layer by layer. The Xianjia Gate had fallen into silence, and the far end behind was still in turmoil and destruction. Standing up, Zhang Xian was still in the midst of the shockwaves. Looking ahead, he saw that the torn spiritual mist was gathering. Many forests had disappeared, and there were broken stones everywhere. However, some low-lying areas weren't affected much, and were only filled with broken stones. Spirit light. The spirit fog ahead was condensing. Suddenly, a dazzling starlight was buried by the spirit fog. Green Feather King shouted, "That's the treasure that came out of the Xianjia Gate with the chi flow. That's a real treasure. Why aren't you snatching it?" Turned out that it was the treasure that came out of the Xianjia Gate with the chi flow. Using the ruler's divine steps, he rushed into the spirit fog with a shocking aura. That spirit light was getting closer and closer. With his great perfection stage ability, he could see through that spirit light. There was a stone inside, a stone with the energy of a small world. This must be a material from a large world. Such a stone was enough to exchange for countless high-grade and peak-grade spirit stones. Whoosh! Less than 100 meters. Who knew that two figures, one on the left and one on the right, were faster than Su Fang and grabbed the stone at the same time. Bang! In an instant, that spirit light was grabbed by the expert on the right, while the cultivator on the left was much weaker and was forced to retreat several feet. Not only did he get the strange stone, but that person also took a step forward and rushed toward the cultivator on the left. In the end, he was turned into a blood fog by the momentum and killed. They are both Yang Soul Realm experts. Bai Bai looked at the treasure being snatched in front of his eyes and felt disappointed. However, the other party was an existence that surpassed him. He could not get this kind of treasure unless he let his Yang Soul servants do it. Hiding from that expert, Yi Shiwen flew in another direction. At this time, the fog in the sky had already healed. After flying for a short distance, Yi Shiwen heard dozens of whooshing sound. They were flying towards the Xianjia Gate from the periphery. They should be here for the treasure. Since the Xianjia Gate was spewing out treasures, all the experts in the vicinity of the Xianjia Gate would rush over and snatch the treasures that were spewing out. Buzz! His right arm suddenly moved again. Xian Wang said, "Master, there is an aura. It is the aura of a purple Qi law spirit." However, it flashed by in front. The aura came quickly and left quickly. "Let's go and take a look." He did not care about the other treasures. He wanted to see who it was. Currently, he wanted to determine what kind of disciple had the purple Qi law spirit. After passing through a large amount of ruins and some valleys, he met many cultivators and disciples of the Celestial Sealing sect, especially the disciples in yellow and black robes. They were experts led by Prince Shui and Xing Chongsheng. "I can't catch the aura?" After an hour, he still did not find anything. He also did not sense anything when he urged the purple Qi law spirit. Xian Wang said, "Master, that means that person's cultivation is very high and his speed is very fast. When we caught up, the other party was already far away from this area." "Forget it. There will be another chance." Su Fang was disappointed. His mood was just like the saying, the higher the expectation, the greater the disappointment. Chase after it. It is definitely a treasure that came out of the Xianjia Gate. It actually has consciousness and is avoiding our suppression. Suddenly, a man's shout came from behind. Chapter 317. Treasures spewed out from the Xianjia Gate. Since they couldn't find the aura of the purple Qi Dharma spirit, they might as well seize the treasures. It was rare to encounter the Xianjia Gate. Following their auras, they realized that many people were searching in the fog. "Haha, it's an artifact spirit, a high-grade artifact spirit." Su Fang was following behind the experts, searching at the edge. Suddenly, an old man's exclamation came from the depths of the center. Swish! 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 It turned out to be an artifact spirit of a high-grade artifact. It was not easy for a high-grade artifact to form an artifact spirit, but the artifact spirit could still exist by itself. This meant that the artifact spirit had long been broken. It was in existence without an artifact body, only an illusory artifact spirit. After obtaining this kind of artifact spirit, it could fuse with any high-grade flying sword and become a powerful artifact. Suddenly, a wind force swept out from the fog, causing Su Fang to retreat a few steps. In front of him, more than a dozen experts were fighting each other to seize the escaping green sword light. The green sword light had a strong consciousness. It seemed that it had formed a sword spirit for a very long time, which was why it could react so quickly. Moreover, it didn't want to be caught by humans. Looking at the auras of those experts, they were all Yang Soul Realm experts with unfathomable cultivation. Looking at them, Su Fang thought, "With my strength, I can't even get close to the sword spirit, let alone obtain it. This is a precious treasure with great use, especially when I can cultivate Daluo Heaven Sword Chi and Green Lotus Sword Sex Lotus Curve Sword Chi. With the sword spirit, it will be very easy to cultivate various sword art. Master, you can let us come out and form an alliance to seize the sword spirit. In the profound yellow space, Mo Fengjun proposed his idea. I'll let you bring Feng Xingzhen, Zhua Zuifeng, Xiahou Ling, Peng Yanjin, Gao Qing, and Wu Wei out to seize the treasures. As long as you have the ability, you can seize any treasure. There should be many treasures in this chi jet. Spread out in 2s and 3s. This was a good suggestion. Taking advantage of the large number of experts seizing the sword spirit, Su Fang released the 7 Yang Soul Realm slaves. The remaining slaves stayed in the profound yellow space to deal with any unexpected situations. Feng Xingzhen had the highest cultivation among the servants and was the most powerful existence. The 7 of them discussed with Su Fang and immediately approached the sword spirit. By the time Su Fang got closer, there were already more than 30 highly achieved Yang Ing swordsmen fighting for the sword spirit, including the Celestial Bestowment sect, the All Saints sect of Green Mountain, the Broken Sword sect, and some unknown free-traveling practitioners. Whoosh whoosh! Just as everyone was about to seize the sword spirit, a beam of spiritual light suddenly shot out from the depths of the spiritual fog in front of them. Like a shooting star, the spiritual light abruptly streaked across the sky above everyone, leaving behind a dazzling tail of spiritual fire. Another treasure! Su Fang was extremely excited. Taking advantage of the fact that only a small number of people had noticed the light, he turned around and chased after it. Several experts flew over from the sky. They were all at the Yang Soul Realm. They had not come to seize the sword spirit, but for the spiritual light. Mo Fengjun, bring the 6 experts and try your best to obtain the sword spirit. If you can't obtain it, then go somewhere else to try your luck. As they gradually distanced themselves from Mo Fengjun and the others, Su Fang still gave them some instructions. By the time he caught up to the spiritual light, there were already over a dozen experts fighting each other. It was a jade slip. The jade slip had actually formed a consciousness and was currently dodging the experts' attacks. Su Fang hid in a mountain peak and watched as the experts fought each other. He was unable to get close. Those experts had already killed each other to obtain the jade slip. He suddenly had a question. Senior, why do most of the treasures that come out of the Xianjia Gate possess their own consciousness? The sword spirit is like that, and so is the jade slip. This question has been raised by many people for tens of thousands of years. There is only one answer, and that is the treasures left behind by the experts that died within the Xianjia Gate. The sword spirit and the jade slip are all like that. After being sealed within the Xianjia Gate for tens of thousands of years, they naturally possess their own consciousness. Then they are spat out by the streams of qi and obtained by the cultivators that come here for tempering, answered the Green Feather King. Then that means there are no treasures that truly come from the Xianjia Gate. In other words, there are no treasures that truly come from the Xianjia Gate. Those treasures can only be chanced upon, and they only exist within the Xianjia Gate. If you want to obtain those treasures, you have to enter the Tao item world to obtain them. Any Yang soul cultivator that enters will only die. Even a true peak powerhouse might not necessarily be able to leave. Unfortunately, I'm powerless to obtain this jade slip. For treasures, they will kill anyone they see. They are no different from the devil path or the corrupt path. A jade slip with its own consciousness isn't worth the risk. Thinking about it, he decided to give up. He turned and flew deeper into the Xianjia Gate. The majority of the treasures were around the gate. Along the way, he did his best to avoid meeting any of the immortal sealing sect's disciples. But he encountered more and more cultivators. Just the devil path cultivators numbered over 1,000. Su Fang slowed down. His nose wriggled a few times, and he instantly flew to the left. What a fragrant smell! I've never felt something like this before. It should be the smell of a mature spiritual item. His perfect sense of smell was far better than an ordinary person's. He had smelled a strange fragrance in the air. Although it was very faint, it was just enough for a perfect cultivator to smell it. After flying for about 5 miles, there was no one around. This forest didn't have any special spiritual light or spiritual chi. Su Fang excitedly entered the forest. He stepped on large pieces of stone to search. His sense of smell was filled with a fragrant smell. It was too strong. If a cultivator came here, they would definitely smell it. Swish! Within the dark forest, Su Fang's expression changed. Suddenly, a demonic aura appeared beside him. Bang! He braced himself and punched the demonic aura. As he expected, his arm was about to break, and his flesh fetus divine armor was completely shattered. In front of him was an indestructible demon. It had a pointed head, a round waist, and long legs. It could also be considered a big goblin. This treasure is mine. But I'll have to eat you to find it. The demon glared fiercely at Su Fang. You do have the qualifications to become my 7th commander. He grabbed with his right hand, and a primordial chaos sage appeared in his palm. He shot it at the demon with lightning speed. We'll talk after I eat you. Ha! The demon's black armor creaked and shuddered. With a thud, its huge hand slapped at Su Fang's head. Buzz! A familiar red light shot out from the ancient mirror. The demon's hand instantly froze when it touched the red light, and its demonic aura scattered. Only then did the demon realize how powerful the ancient mirror was. It wanted to struggle, but it was useless. The red light had already enveloped its entire body. Xian Wang, I'll leave this to you. At the same time, a pagoda appeared beside the red light. Su Fang grabbed with his left hand, and the demon was sucked into Xian Huang. The 7th commander. That was too little. Each layer of Xuanhuang's space required 100,000 commanders, so there were only 7. However, Su Fang wasn't in a rush. In any case, the Xianhuang 6 Paths Pagoda had yet to fully recover. It wouldn't be too late to suppress a large number of commanders once it fully recovered. Whoosh! Many leaves fell to the ground. Suddenly, a blood-colored flower floated in the air between several large trees. The undying flower. It was a wondrous undying flower. It looked similar to the undying flower Su Fang had obtained before, but its color was more lustrous and pure. Furthermore, its aura wasn't undying or indestructible. It was the aura of a Yang soul. This was an undying flower that had reached the Yang soul realm. There's actually a fruit. Arriving in front of the undying flower, the first thing he smelled was a strange fragrance. This was a scent that had never been there before. Looking closely, the undying flower actually bore a fruit. It was a red fruit the size of an eyeball. Wonderful, wonderful! In the past, I heard that the undying flower would bear fruit after 10,000 years. I thought it was just a rumor. After all, no one had ever seen or obtained one. I didn't think there would actually be an undying flower that bore fruit. The Green Feather King couldn't help sighing. This fruit has already reached the peak of the Yang Soul realm. Adding on its ability, it might be able to help any 10th stage Yang Soul expert reach a higher realm. This treasure was truly a priceless treasure. It was even more important than the sword spirit. Of course, the sword spirit also had its advantages. Its attack power was incomparable. The Green Feather King laughed. Hee, this is naturally a peerless treasure for both the demon race and the human race. This is a priceless treasure that can only form after tens of thousands of years. You have to keep this treasure for when you reach the peak of the Yang Soul realm. This is an undying fruit. Undying fruit. He immediately plucked the undying flower and placed it in a jade bottle. This was a priceless treasure that couldn't be bought. He then swallowed the remaining petals, and powerful spiritual energy exploded within his body. Furthermore, this was the spiritual energy essence of the Xianjia Gate, which meant it wasn't the energy of a minor world. After this energy exploded, it actually suppressed and dispersed Su Fang's minor world's true qi. It also wanted to crush his meridians and physical body. Fortunately, he had activated his 9-yang true qi and fused it with his cold qi. The two of them were able to devour the undying flower's high-level energy. Su Fang sat down cross-legged and began to refine this ferocious energy. He then crazily absorbed the world's essence energy and had a few yang soul servants come out to guard him. Using the 9 yang 9 transformations, his body's pure yang energy crazily circulated, engulfing every muscle and cell. His origin sacred realm also released a faint cold qi, achieving the effect of yin and yang dual cultivation. The yang energy formed after that was even purer. It also fused the high-level energy contained in the undying flower with the high-level energy absorbed from nature. A lot of energy formed a vast aura that surged within Su Fang's body. The Xianjia Gate was simply Su Fang's blessed land. The high-level energy here was impossible for any cultivator to refine, but it was just right for him to refine and fuse with it. What treasure! What Xianjia Gate! At this moment they all disappeared without a trace. Only power roared. About half a month later, bang! The quiet forest was overturned by a terrifying force. Many trees were shaken off, and a large amount of impurities surged out of Su Fang's body. From this moment on, his force also appeared in 7 forms, the longevity 7th layer. He broke through another realm, the longevity 7th layer. His strength had more than doubled. There are still many treasures. I can't waste time and use it too much on cultivation. He immediately used the 100 acupoints finger art to guide the promotion force to attack the 2 yang meridians, the purple qi dharma spirit, and the divine aperture. Coupled with the mystic magic ring's activation of magic power, his strength and magic power were both increasing crazily. With the 9 yang true qi, he could slowly absorb any high-level energy. These high-level energy were comparable to spiritual items. Spiritual items had many effects, and the high-level energy would bring Su Fang high-level energy. It was equivalent to the longevity realm absorbing the energy of the yang nascent realm. Coupled with the promotion force, Su Fang's strength was rapidly increasing. To be able to break through the longevity 7th layer at this time, it will give me more ability to obtain treasures. This experiential learning journey in the Xianjia Gate will definitely be a journey of transformation for me. The divine aperture was more solid than before. He could clearly see the magic power inside had turned into an ocean. The 2 yang meridians were also more solid and had fused with his body more perfectly. A few days later, whoosh! A few yang nascent soul servants hiding in the dark escaped into Su Fang's palm. Chapter 3:18. Su Fang flew out of the mountains after breaking through from the 6th to the 7th. He felt that his state was very strange. His senses had also improved a lot. Unfortunately, he was a voidust. He didn't have a golden core, so he didn't have anything a normal cultivator should have. For example, his golden core could condense spirit marks and grasp the divine marks for cultivating divine abilities. What other cultivators had to do was just a burden for Su Fang. Of course, the divine marks formed by cultivating divine abilities still existed. They were all in his dantian. I finally got the undying fruit. I wonder what kind of treasure I'll get next. No matter which forest or canyon they passed through, Su Fang would use the various abilities of the Great Perfection stage to carefully sense the different auras of nature. But he didn't find anything. Fiend Qi. Kid, there's a very strong Fiend Qi. Suddenly, Green Feather King's voice rang out. He immediately sensed it carefully. Sure enough, there was a demonic aura in the fog. It came from the depths of the fog, and the demonic aura was being released there. And it's a very familiar Fiend Qi. Green Feather King sensed it again. If this king's guess is correct, it should be the aura of an old acquaintance. Peerless big goblin. Su Fong was startled. Forget it. This kind of special fiend chi is unique in the Zhuotian realm. It should be this king's old enemy, the Heavenly Drill Rat Emperor. Heavenly Drill Rat Emperor! It's the Heavenly Drill Rat Emperor's aura. It's just that this aura hasn't reached its height. Right, it should be the Heavenly Drill Rat Emperor's descendant. It's just a rat, but don't underestimate it. It's much stronger than that little fox. It's at the peak of the Yang Soul realm. Junior doesn't care about the rat race. But this fiend must have come here for some kind of treasure. I'll go take a look. Su Fong flew in the direction of the fiend chi. After passing through several mountains, the fiend chi grew stronger. Then, he heard a series of explosions. Clearly, many experts were fighting over treasures. After releasing his senses, he sensed a kind of fragrance in the depths of the tear. But it wasn't very strong. It seemed to be the fragrance of some kind of medicinal pill. Could it be that they were fighting over some kind of rare medicinal pill? Taking the risk to get closer, the auras of the experts' battle spread out in all directions. There were more than 40 Yang Soul experts fighting over a white pill that could be used to evade the auras of the experts. Su Fong sighed inwardly. Could it be the legendary pill spirit? It really is a pill spirit. This kind of treasure is transformed from a medicinal pill into a pill spirit. Once swallowed, the medicinal power is boundless. No wonder so many experts are fighting over it. If you obtain a pill spirit, there will be many benefits. Nurturing a pill spirit to help you refine pills in the future will naturally be much easier. Green Feather Monarch was also looking ahead. That's a life-seizing recreating pill. Junior has heard of it. That is the pure origin pill, a pill that belongs to the legend. The life-seizing recreating pill is a peerless pill. Even Yang Soul experts can't devour it. Only Yang Soul experts can use it. Furthermore, it can help you resist heavenly tribulation and increase your lifespan. Any one of them is incomparably precious. Just the refining materials alone require over 100 kinds. This pill spirit isn't simple. You should know that if you obtain a pill spirit, it's equivalent to obtaining its refining formula. Wouldn't that mean you've grasped the refining method for the life-seizing recreating pill? Yes, medicinal pills are dead. It's impossible for ordinary medicinal pills to obtain the refining formula from them. But a pill spirit has its own consciousness, so it naturally knows the refining formula. I have to think of a way to obtain this life-seizing recreating pill's pill spirit. You really are smart this time. If you can obtain the life-seizing recreating pill's refining formula, this king can guarantee that you'll become the richest cultivator in the future. At that time, you can fuse it with an yang strengthening pill. With your yang qi, your life-seizing recreating pill will definitely be the best pill. That golden-robed demon wind seems to be a demon. It's the Celestial Drill Rat Emperor's grandson. This king remembers that the Celestial Drill Rat Emperor only has one son, so it should only have one grandson. There are quite a few rat demons, but the Celestial Drill Rat Emperor is rare. In the Zhua Heaven Realm and the other minor worlds, only the Celestial Drill Rat Emperor's bloodline exists. Green Feather King easily saw through the golden-robed demon wind's identity. But don't even think about suppressing that Celestial Drill Rat Emperor. Otherwise, the Celestial Drill Rat Emperor will chase you all over the world. Who cares? In any case, I'm not afraid of demons. As long as it doesn't provoke me, I'll be fine. Su Fong secretly stared at the large group of experts in front of him. That pill spirit was extremely fast, and it knew how to use humans to kill each other. It seemed its consciousness was extremely powerful. The life-seizing recreating pill was a legendary treasure, and this pill spirit had its own consciousness. Obtaining it was equivalent to obtaining the complete pill formula. Waiting for an opportunity, he secretly observed, the celestial drill rat's speed is truly astonishing. It doesn't seem to have reached the peak of Yang Soul, so it's not a match for those cultivators, but it's almost as fast as that ape. Doesn't that mean the celestial drill rat emperor's speed is the same as that ape? Green Feather King lazily reminded him, "You have to remember the celestial drill rat's innate abilities. There's no guarantee that you won't become an enemy of the celestial drill rat emperor in the future. The celestial drill rat's innate abilities are its speed, its tough teeth, and its unique demonic poison. The celestial drill rat's specialty is its innate ability to burrow into the ground. Its innate ability to steal chickens and dogs. When it has nothing to do, it likes to burrow into the ground. Even if it can't win, it'll still burrow into the ground. But compared to that ape, the celestial drill rat emperor is still a bit weaker. It burrows into the ground. Unfortunately, there's a celestial drill rat emperor behind it. If there wasn't one, I really would have suppressed this celestial drill rat into a commander. That was because the celestial drill rat had almost used its speed to obtain the life-seizing recreating pill. But now, over 10 human experts were targeting it. There are also a few experts from the Immortal Sealing sect. Looking carefully, he saw several experts from the Immortal Sealing sect surrounding the pill spirit. Su Fong didn't recognize them. After thinking for a moment, he said, "I won't give up on the pill spirit just because they're experts from the Immortal Sealing sect. If they continue fighting like this, then if a giant like Blue Sea City comes, I won't have any chance. Furthermore, this pill spirit will definitely draw the attention of the Immortal Sealing sect's expert." Teleportation Talisman. This time, I'll take a risk and use the teleportation talisman to get the pill spirit. This is a risk. I'll think about it after I get the pill spirit. After thinking about it for a moment, he finally thought of a way to snatch a treasure from a group of experts. Whoosh! He had just made his decision when over 10 experts flew over. They were all experts from the Devil Path. These Devil Path experts were all at the Yang Soul realm. Furthermore, they were at the very top of the Yang Soul realm. Now, even the Immortal Sealing sect's experts were sent flying. There are too many people. The pill spirit is too close to the expert. I can't move yet. Taking out a teleportation talisman, Su Fong prepared to make his move. However, the pill spirit was always in the caves around the expert. It was difficult to snatch it. The scene was chaotic. Dozens of experts were in a state of fighting. Whether it was rogue cultivators, devil path cultivators, or the heavenly diamond rat, they were all using their own methods. If this continued, the life-seizing recreating pill spirit would definitely attract more experts. Especially when he was in the Supreme God sect. The scene of him protecting the Yang strengthening pills recipe appeared in his mind. A single Yang strengthening pills recipe had attracted the Supreme God sect's attention. They didn't hesitate to use the heaven and earth sensing technique. Wouldn't this life-seizing recreating pill spirit cause the major factions to fight each other? In the end, more cultivators came. There were more than 20 of them. They were summoned by other cultivators. It seemed like a portion of them were rogue cultivators. Most of them were actually disciples from various major factions. However, the Immortal Sealing sect's experts are here again, roared a Devil Path expert. More than 20 Yang Soul experts flew over. The leader was Schwelling. Schwelling came and ordered everyone in a low voice, "Our Crown Prince will definitely take this life-seizing recreating pill spirit. Everyone, if you snatch the pill spirit, you will have contributed greatly to our Crown Prince." "But shouldn't such an important pill spirit be given to the sect?" asked a Yang Soul expert. He couldn't understand. Schwelling shouted, "Everyone here is our Crown Prince faction's brother. The sect doesn't know about this pill spirit. Naturally, it will belong to our Crown Prince. This time, our Crown Prince will definitely be a venerable Tao disciple who will contribute greatly to the sect." Our Crown Prince faction will also step on the Fragrant Jade factions and Stone Saint factions' faces. So they are all members of the Crown Prince faction. Su Feng, who was secretly listening, gritted his teeth. It was too coincidental. These people weren't from the Fragrant Jade faction or Stone Saint faction, but they were from the Crown Prince faction. Moreover, the Crown Prince faction wanted to take this life-seizing recreating pill spirit for themselves. One could imagine how much stronger Prince Shui would become if this life-seizing recreating pill fell into his hands. Heaven Ruler Divine Step. Xueleng was truly worthy of being called an expert. He had all the Crown Prince faction's members, and over 30 Yang Soul experts, form a formation. Using runes to coordinate with the formation, he was able to control the power of over 30 Yang Soul experts. His aura and divine abilities shot towards the center of the formation. In just a few steps, he had already reached the center of the formation, knocking away some of the Yang Soul experts who were fighting. He then used the Heavenly Dragon Divine Claw to grab the pill spirit. Bang! A golden figure suddenly knocked the Heavenly Dragon Divine Claw away. Xueleng was fuming with rage. Damn it, you're a celestial drill rat. Could it be that you're related to the celestial drill rat emperor? My immortal sealing sect has always wanted to suppress the celestial drill rat emperor. This time I'll kill you first. That golden figure revealed a handsome face. Haha, if you have the ability, then go suppress my family's old man. I won't let the immortal sealing sect obtain this pill spirit. Devil Chi. On the other side, taking advantage of the fact that Xueleng was unable to obtain the pill spirit, over 10 Devil Dao experts controlled a chain to grab the pill spirit. Chapter 319. Venerable Dao Disciple. That was the future successor of a faction's inheritance. Not only was his talent outstanding, but he was also powerful. Prince Shui actually dared to publicly kill a Venerable Dao disciple of a faction. This is true. The Grand Green Feather King also sighed. About 100 years ago, this king was still suppressed by the Immortal Sealing Sect. One time, the Immortal Sealing Sect's elders gathered to discuss an important matter. It was precisely the matter of Prince Shui killing a Venerable Dao disciple of the Spirit Immortal Sect. At that time, this matter shook the entire Zhuotian world. Because the Spirit Immortal Sect sent many experts to the Zhuotian world to demand an explanation from the Immortal Sealing Sect, it almost caused the two sects to fight each other. From then on, Prince Shui's name shook the entire Zhuotian world. Is the Spirit Immortal Sect a second-rate faction? You're wrong. Don't have such thoughts. Prince Shui is just as powerful as you imagine. He is a peerless genius. Furthermore, he obtained an extremely mysterious Immortal Dao sect's inheritance. That Spirit Immortal Sect is a major faction in the Wu-Tan world. Prince Shui. At this moment, Green Feather King's words were like a stimulant to Su Feng. Fear. That's right. Prince Shui was someone who dared to publicly kill a Venerable Dao disciple of the Spirit Immortal Sect. Who wouldn't be afraid? But to Su Feng, while he was afraid, he also felt an aura that was about to burst out of his body. A formless pressure was forcing him to overcome Prince Shui. My Crown Prince is currently in the Immortal Jia Gate. If you don't know what's good for you, then let alone my Crown Prince faction, even if an expert from my Crown Prince faction came, you wouldn't be able to live. Furthermore, killing you would be a waste. I don't believe that the factions behind you would dare to find my Crown Prince. Xueleng once again used the ruler's divine steps. You might be afraid of the Immortal Sealing Sect, but I'm not. The Sky Drill Mouse suddenly released its innate talent, causing it to ignite with golden flames. Pop, 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 pop. You! At this moment, Xueleng had absorbed the energy of over 30 Yang Soul stage experts. He slapped his palm towards the sky drill rat, and countless sword hearts instantly shattered the sky drill rat's defense, severely injuring it. Pill spirit. A heavenly dragon divine claw condensed in the air, grabbing at the pill spirit of the life-seizing recreating pill. At this moment there were so many experts around, but none of them dared to make a move. Demonic poison burn. The heavenly drill rat's eyes turned red as it spat out blood-colored demonic poison, forming a prairie fire that swept into the air. Just as the heavenly dragon divine claw was about to grab the pill spirit, it burned the heavenly dragon divine claw until it was corroded. You little rat, you really don't know the difference between life and death. Schwelling gnashed his teeth in anger. Demonic poison was no ordinary power. Furthermore, his aura was even more demonic and poisonous. The aura emitted from the heavenly dragon divine claw was incomparable. It had already suppressed the Dan Ling in midair, and made him motionless. The sky drill rat kept coughing up blood, and it roared at the surrounding experts. What are you afraid of? The celestial sealing sect will take the pill spirit and leave this place. Prince Shui won't be able to do anything to you. You humans are all cowards. That's because you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Our crown prince's strength is now on par with the elders of the various factions. What do you know? Schwelling was too proud. Pooh. At this moment everyone looked at the heavenly dragon divine claw that was about to shatter the demonic poison and grab the elixir spirit of the life-seizing recreating pill. No one was willing to accept this. Suddenly, perhaps because Schwelling wasn't in a hurry to take the elixir spirit and wanted to teach the sky drill rat a lesson, a surging pulling force rushed towards the heavenly dragon divine claw. Who? Schwelling was furious. There's always someone who isn't afraid of the celestial sealing sect. The sky drill rat wiped away the blood. Humph, divine image Dharma grounds. At this moment, Schwelling crushed countless runes, and the hand that was grabbing the elixir spirit disappeared along with the twisting force. Suddenly, the entire space rumbled, and the twisting force was forcefully compressed. The pulling force ignited, and one of the blue-robed figures was miserably shaken. It's a disciple of the celestial sealing sect. When the experts of the celestial sealing sect saw the blue-robed figure, they all let out a thunder of alarm. Who dares to snatch food from the tiger's mouth? Schwelling pressed down with his 5 fingers again, completely shattering the pulling force of the teleportation talisman. However, the remaining force still sent the blue-robed figure flying a few meters, his entire body covered in sparks. When Schwelling saw the blue-robed figure, he cried out in disbelief, "Fang Yu!" Dozens of experts from the Crown Prince faction surrounded Schwelling. He's the longevity disciple we're looking for, Fang Yu. A longevity disciple. Fellow sect member. Fang Yu, this name is incredible. Is he not afraid of Prince Shui? The surrounding cultivators were all watching the show happily. So what if it's me? Su Fang felt his body was about to be torn apart. The Yang nascent realm's huge strength controlled space, and the teleportation talisman's power was forcefully shattered. This was equivalent to inflicting unimaginable damage to him. However, he wasn't afraid. Even though he was heavily injured, he faced Schwelling. This was the first time he faced Prince Shui face to face. The sect didn't stipulate that the treasure must belong to the Crown Prince faction. I'm also a disciple of the Celestial Sealing sect, and I have the right to obtain the treasure. In the end, the treasure will belong to whoever obtains it. Schwelling's killing intent soared as he brought dozens of experts with him. Hand over the pill spirit, or you'll die here today. Su Fang retorted. I'm afraid that even if I hand the pill spirit to you, you'll still kill me here, right? Since I'm going to die anyway, why should I hand over the pill spirit to you? Furthermore, I don't necessarily need to be killed by you. Reality has proven that you've tried to kill me time and time again, but I've managed to survive each time. You're courting death. Xueleng spat out a mouthful of Xian Guang. This Xian Guang appeared in front of Xueleng, and along with the explosion of his eyes, the space in front of him immediately turned into a boundless sword domain. Everything was instantly shattered. Teleportation talisman. Su Fong crushed a teleportation talisman. Zzz. The instant the teleportation talisman shuttled, it immediately caused intense friction with the surrounding sword domain, forming a shocking burning flame. Su Fong was dragged along by the power of the teleportation talisman, and was in a slow state. The power of the teleportation talisman was slowly being crushed by the power of the sword domain. Haha, you think that the teleportation talisman can allow you to escape from me? You are gravely mistaken. The power of a young soul is not something that a longevity disciple like you can resist. Xueleng could already see Su Fong's ending. Huchi. Within the sword domain, Su Fong no longer had any possibility of escaping. He could only activate his magic treasure or use the power of his young soul slave. Just as he was about to do so, he suddenly felt the sound of the sword domain tearing apart. He turned around and saw that it was actually the sky drill rat. You want to steal the pill spirit? Su Fong immediately activated the power of his slave. His body burned with spiritual fire as he prepared to activate the wind and fire dual spirit swords. Xueleng laughed. Haha, you little rat. You still want to steal the pill spirit at this time? Then I'll just kill you both. Swish. The wind and fire dual spirit swords appeared in Su Fong's hands as he activated the power of his slave. He wanted to kill the Sky Drill Rat Emperor. I'm not here to kill you. I'm the brother of the yellow-browed scarlet fox, Dao Wuliang. Just as the wind and fire dual spirit swords were about to unleash a terrifying power, the young and handsome Sky Drill Rat suddenly transmitted a thought. What Dao Wuliang? Su Fong was startled. He looked at the Sky Drill Rat and thought for a moment before withdrawing his aura. Who? The Sky Drill Rat, which was only 16 or 17 years old, came to Su Fong's side.